Penn State's defense.
It's intercepted. Oh, here's pressure.
Is as good as it's been.
Loud and clear, turn my mic up.
Tough to touch, very talented offense.
Touchdown! Oh, man.
Oh, you're hyped up. Yes, I'm getting hyped up.
Welcome, everyone, to Atlanta, the place that many people consider to be the epicenter of college football and home to the College Football Hall of Fame. Welcome, everyone, to the Ram Trucks kickoff and the first ever meeting between the Rebels and the Nittany Lions under the roof here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. An intriguing matchup on the field. The offensive guru, coach of the Rebels, Lane Kiffin, with that prolific offense all season long. His counterpart today, the current curator of Linebacker University, James Franklin, his team coming in with an identical record of 10-2, looking to mark history today, as are the Rebels. Well, if you like creativity, folks, especially offensively, Ole Miss has it in spades, Lewis.
Yeah, Jackson Dart is a fantastic quarterback. 20 touchdown passes, 7 rushing TDs this year. He makes great decisions with the football, doesn't put it in harm's way. Sometimes his competitiveness gets the best of him. He will go ahead and slam it up in there on quarterback runs. And when he wants to turn around and hand it off, this is one of the most productive running backs over his first 2 years as far as touchdowns in SEC history in Quinshon Judkins. He can run the football between the tackles, outside the box, catch it out of the backfield. Nothing he can't do. Trey Harris, a fantastic wide receiver, a guy who primarily lines up on the outside lane. He is a high riser, folks. He makes the contested catches, the one-handed catches. I guarantee you, he'll probably have a catch today that'll be on SportsCenter highlights tonight.
Hey, they're going to have to earn it against the Nittany Lions defensively because they have defense at all 3 levels.
No question. No Chop Robinson in this football game, but Adisa Isaac, another fifth-year senior on this Penn State defense, 7.5 sacks, 15 tackles for a loss. He has get-off and pass rush ability that is second to nobody. At the second level, you're going to see the fantastic super sophomore Abdul Carter. He was a freshman All-American 2022, first team All-Big Ten in 2023. He can do it all. You see the number he's wearing. You know why he's wearing that number as well. And then in the secondary, Daquan Hardy will be the guy in the spotlight right now. Going to be some changes in this secondary. He's going to be the guy who's going to play outside in base. He'll slide inside to the slot and nickel. He is a fantastic punt returner, has 2 punt return touchdowns so far this year. He will be up against this high-profile, high-octane offense of Mississippi.
Let's take a look at the Ram Trucks tough road, and it can show you and demonstrate just how tenuous things can be in college football. This matchup almost didn't materialize because there's a look at the 2 losses by the respective teams today. The Rebels losing to Alabama and Georgia, Penn State losing to Ohio State and Michigan. As we take a little inventory, welcome everybody. Take a breath. Mark Jones chopping it up with Lewis Riddick, Quinn Kesnick down on the field. From all of us to all of you at home, a happy new year, all the best in the upcoming 2024. Lewis, let's start with, whether it's the BCS, whether it's the current college football playoff system, or the 12-team playoff to come next year, the meat of college football, the excitement, the uniqueness is always right here in these bowl games.
No doubt about it. Look, the New Year's Six represents the best of the best. We all know that. We feel personally that our crew lucked out. We think we have the best game of the New Year's Six outside of the CFP, outside of the teams that are playing for the national title game. These 2 teams have put together fantastic seasons, and it's looking even better when you fast forward to 2024. Ole Miss does it a little bit differently as far as really wanting to emphasize the transfer portal. They have the #1 transfer portal class for 2024. Penn State a little bit more traditional. They have a top 10 freshman incoming class for 2024. These guys will be in contention for the national title next year.
Setting the stage for next year. Let's come back to this year, though, and the Rebels offensively have a quarterback that is a tremendous catalyst for a lot of points and a lot of yards.
Yeah, he's the guy who, again, makes all the decisions. He's tough. He can run the ball out of the backfield, and he can throw it.
And he can fish, too. As we look at his personal journey, he's hooked some big ones. Looking to hook a big one today. And I'll tell you what, he's got drip for sale. He is cleaner than hand sanitizer, folks. Had his Louis bag today, and this is his business attire.
Jackson's not messing around.
Jackson Dart came dressed for success today. looking clean and ready to take the field and about to do his thing against Penn State. These two teams meeting for the first time. And let's talk about Tre Harris now, one of his weapons on the outside. They have three different receivers who've amassed over 700 yards. And Tre Harris, keep in mind, is a former quarterback.
Yeah, he's made the transition, and he has made it spectacularly. Again, he's the kind of guy who put in the work transferring from Louisiana Lafayette, and now here he is at Ole Miss as a guy who is one of those people who, when you need it the most, he is going to be the guy that they are going to look to. If it's one-on-one coverage, he's the kind of guy that Jackson Dart is going to look to, and they're going to put it up, and they're going to put it up often.
And look at that, they're roommates as well. And they took it a step further. This past summer, they flew out to California to get some good training in and get some real galvanizing chemistry. And he got out of the gates real quickly, Harris, with 4 touchdown catches against Mercer as the Nittany Lions take the field. Penn State looking to make history. A win today, as we take some inventory, they will have won the Roses, Cotton, Sugar, Orange, Fiesta, and there's just one remaining. You take a guess. Peaches, folks. And number 11, Abdul Carter going to try and get them there. And when you look at Penn State and their defense, when you wear number 11, Lewis, it takes on almost a transcendent feeling at Penn State because of the lineage there.
Look, it started with LeVar Arrington. He is the guy who popularized that number amongst the linebacker group. Navarro Bowman wore it as well. You see here, Micah Parsons wore it, and now Abdul Carter is the next one in line. And look, he started off his career at Penn State on fire. His freshman season, again, freshman All-American, people were like, who is this guy? I mean, we knew he was good coming out of high school, but man, he's just taking it up another level this year. He can blitz, he can play the run, he can cover, he's got good zone instincts, he's got good hands, and he's big. I mean, when he walked into the room yesterday, you're talking about a guy who's 6'3", 250 pounds, but he doesn't look 250 pounds. He will play a big-time role today.
I think yesterday was a chest day for him. No, a lot of moving parts on that Penn State defense. Q caught up with Coach Franklin to talk about it.
You're going to be playing some young corners. What are reasonable expectations for the freshmen and the sophomores making their first starts and their big first appearance?
To play well. I mean, you know, the reality is the expectations at a place like Penn State are always high. We recruited them for a reason. We've developed them for a reason. They've been told since the beginning of the season that they need to prepare as if they were the starter, and their time was going to come. We don't know when. It's here. So tremendous challenge against Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin in this offense and these receivers.
They ready?
Yeah, they better be, and we got a lot of confidence in them. They're good kids. They've prepared the right way. Terry Smith's done a great job with them as well. But we'll find out for sure. It's one thing for me to say it. It's another thing for it to show up on the grass.
One of the great storylines coming into this football game this afternoon. Thanks for watching, everyone. The Ram Trucks kickoff. Kickoff coming up in just a moment. Welcome back, everyone. You're watching the Chick-Fil-A Peach Bowl from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, the jewel of the South. The Rebels taking on the Nittany Lions, a couple of teams meeting for the first time, both of them at 10-2, identical records. And Jackson Dart waiting to take the field. The Rebels winning the toss, and they elect to receive. Healthy crowd here on hand as Coach Kiffin preparing himself for what's to come.
What better way to start this game, Mark, huh? Strength on strength. Hey, you know what? We win the toss, we're going to put our best unit out there. Penn State says, we'll accept that challenge. This is what you came here for. This is what you tuned into this game for, because this is the matchup we've been waiting for months now to see.
The SEC against the Big Ten always creates a lot of intrigue. Gabe Osu to kick off. Bentley back deep. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Rebels from their own 25-yard line. Let's go downstairs to Q.
It's bowl season, so we got to take attendance. Amazingly, Ole Miss with nearly perfect attendance. They only have one player who's not going to play in this game, who's going to opt out, and that is Cedric Johnson, their pass rusher with 19 career sacks. Meanwhile, Penn State, they'll play without 4 starters today. Their left tackle Olu Fashanu, he's a Sunday player. Lewis referenced Chop Robinson, but most significantly, corners Kalen King and Johnny Dixon are here but will not play. And that's going to put pressure mark on a bunch of sophomores and freshmen. Do they play more zone? How do they handle this Ole Miss offense?
Well, Q, on the first play, one of the seniors doing some of the heavy lifting. That was Isaac with the tackle and a loss of 3 yards. And Jackson Dart is favoring that left leg a little bit after the first play. Judkins motions out of the backfield. Pass incomplete. And in a blink, it's going to be 3rd and long, 13 to go. Intended for Dayton Wade. And Mississippi back up at the line of scrimmage quickly. They're going to use a little tempo, right?
Absolutely. They're going to try and test these young corners and test Penn State's discipline. You see right now, Penn State just lining up on their side. Nice, calm, and collected. Signal College communicating to everybody.
Coming with a little pressure. Dart got it away. And it's picked off at the 35. Cam Miller. Penn State heats up quarterback Jackson Dart, and they turn him over on the first series, Lewis.
You just look at the pressure right here, right out of the gate. You can see it. Dennis Sutton, Abdul Carter getting the pressure on Jackson Dart, and then in the back end, Cam Miller. Just look at him just come inside and cut right in front of Trey Harris as they try and get the ball to their #1 receiver. I think we're going to get a second look at this. You can see it right there. He's trying to scoop it off of the ground.
Let's bring in our rules analyst, Matt Austin. Matt, what are your thoughts on what you just saw on the monitor as to whether that's a catch or not?
Yeah, Mark, I agree with you and Lewis. I do think this ball skipped off the ground, so I would not be surprised if this is overturned to an incomplete pass.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. They're adjudicating the call right now at the monitor. But, wow, that was a frenzied 3-play series to start the game, Lewis. And the takeaway was that Penn State is coming with a lot of smoke early.
No doubt about that. And you see here, Cam Miller.
Oh, that hit the turf.
Yeah, you see it right there. That's a good look at it. But
Great
again,
angle.
this sophomore corner just playing fantastic one-on-one coverage against Ole Miss's #1 receiver in Trey Harris. He read the route perfectly.
After review, it was confirmed that the ball hit the ground, resulting in an incomplete pass. 4th down.
Well, it's still 4th down for the Rebels.
But you see what Penn State defense is all about. You see that despite the fact they don't have Chop Robinson in this football game, who is going to be a absolutely productive Sunday player, they still have guys that can get after the passer. Adisa Isaac can rush the passer. You saw what Abdul Carter did right there on the linebacker blitz. And remember this name, Deny Dennis Sutton.
Okay.
This guy at 6'5", 261 pounds, he moves like he's 220. He blew right by the Ole Miss offensive line and was in on Jackson Dart before he could even get comfortable.
Was in to punt. A low line drive, and it bounces out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. But one of the things to keep an eye on, Jackson Dart right now is in that tent, and here's why. On one of the first plays of the game, he got hit, and he came up limping, favoring that left leg. Dennis Sutton was the guy that got to him.
Yeah, that was the interception hit right there. But again, you're right. I mean, he has already taken some shots, and he's one of the toughest players in college football. You have seen him come back time and time again from big-time shots. They need him in order to contend with this #1 defense in college football.
Drew Aller at quarterback, 1st down and 10 for Penn State from their own 27-yard line. Aller, 23 touchdown passes, just 1 interception. They keep it on the ground and pick up a 1st down. That's Nicholas Singleton, and a late flag on the play. Back at the 26-yard line. Let's see if it stands.
Holding. Offense number 71. 10-yard penalty. Replay, 1st down.
Going to go against Ioane.
Ioane, the left guard. You can see it right here. Defensive tackle just trying to cross his face. J.J. Pegues. Just got to get that head in front and make sure you can cut him off backside when you try and get that ball out on the perimeter on that zone run. This offensive line, as you can see at the point of attack, they've already let Ole Miss know. This is what we're going to try and do. Do you have an answer? Can you play big boy football with us?
On 1st and 20, Aller surveys. That ball appeared to be tipped at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and 20. You know, Aller this year, as I mentioned a moment ago, threw 23 touchdowns against just 1 interception. One more look here.
It's a nice job by J.J. Pegues rushing inside on the nose. You can't get there. Stop, get your hands up, time the arm motion of the quarterback. That's a productive play for the defensive line.
For Aller, it's his first season in a starring role as the starter. Singleton, the lone back beside him on 2nd down and 20. Play clock at 10. Aller hands it off right between the tackles and a burst by Singleton. It's going to leave the Nittany Lions a short and manageable 3rd and about 2 to go. A missed tackle by Perkins, allowing the 18-yard gain.
You see the blocking up front in the interior between Ioane and Hunter Norzad, the center. They just do a nice job of shielding defenders, leveraging them. And then Singleton, you see that burst, that special burst at 222 pounds.
Gets another opportunity, picks up the 1st down. Gain of about 7 on the play. Lewis, they are gashing them. I know it's early, but they're gashing them up front.
Look, this is something that Pete Golding, the defensive coordinator of Ole Miss, and Lane Kiffin were worried about. They know that up front, their size is something that is going to work against them, against this Penn State offensive line that really just tries to maul you. And they just double team you with these 2 backs in Singleton and Allen. And they're going to be coming over and over and over again with those inside zone runs, outside zone runs, leads. They got everything in the playbook as far as the run game is concerned.
Aller to throw this time. Gets off his spot and completes the pass underneath to Tyler Warren, one of their prolific, productive tight ends. And he picks up the 1st down working against Perkins.
And what a nice job right there of Drew Aller, just working through his progressions, staying calm in the pocket, and then finding Tyler Warren, who just kind of like leaks across the formation on a little shallow route, and he puts it on him so he can turn upfield and catch and run. It's going to be important for Drew to just trust what he sees. When he trusts it and he lets it go, that he has wonderful arm talent. It's when he gets in his own head and starts second-guessing himself that he gets himself into trouble.
Warren in motion now, sets to the left. They're going to keep it on the ground. This is Allen this time. And Allen moves the pile to pick up about 5 on the play as we take a look at Lou's do's and don'ts. What do you have, partner?
Yeah, we're talking about for Ole Miss, faster the better. Offensively, they got to be able to run a lot of plays and keep it up tempo and continue to test these young Penn State cornerbacks, and don't let the Penn State get the run game going. So far, not very good. They're going to have to go ahead and really go ahead and shore up this run front. For Penn State, Drew Aller, just believe what you see. Just believe it and let the ball go. And then for these young corners, don't hang them out to dry. Make sure that you give them some help when Penn State's on defense, but so far, looks like they're up to the challenge.
On 2nd and 5, they're going to keep it on the ground. Another 1st down. Allen into the clear and finally brought down to the 14-yard line. Catron, okay. They're pounding the Rebels on the turf.
I mean, just watch it right here. Watch the decision-making right there of Aller. You see him right there. He decides to hand the football off on that zone read as the linebacker, Ladarius Tennyson, just got frozen right there at the mesh point.
24-yard gain on the play.
And then Catron Allen's off to the races.
7th play of this current drive. In the red zone. Johnson in motion. Aller underthrown. Looked like he got hit just as he released the football by Ukwu. One of those guys with a lot of power and speed up front.
You're going to see Isaac Ukwu coming off Drew Aller's blind side as the wide rusher. He's the guy who's going to be playing in place of Cedric Johnson, who opted out of this football game, was a fantastic rusher in his own right. But Ukwu this year, 3.5 sacks, 4.5 tackles for a loss. He's going to be counted on a lot by Pete Golding to get some pressure off of that blind side.
2nd and 10, play clock at 13. Singleton in the backfield. He gets the call. And Singleton with a nice gain of about 7, brought down by Trey Washington. Sets up 3rd and about 4 to go now. What do you think in terms of play call? And sometimes they bring in Trabula as well at quarterback. He's still on the sidelines here, though.
I think here, again, you got to rely on these running backs. You have to rely on getting the ball here either to Singleton or Allen, and the tight ends become a factor down here in the red zone. You know that Tyler Warren is someone who will be able to work his way through man coverage and present a big target. And you see Harrison Wallace III in the football game here, wide receiver down here in the slot.
Aller gets rid of it quick. Caught. No, incomplete. Incomplete, intended for Harrison Wallace. So 4th and 4. And James Franklin a little bit puzzled as he looks up at the replay. Here's what he saw. He clearly dropped.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a bang-bang play. I don't think that's one where you can claim there was any kind of interference there. But Harrison Wallace is someone who they are excited to get back here in this wide receiver core, because they need some guys to get open down the field. Ole Miss has given it up in the deep part of the field this year.
Falcons from 26 yards out knocks it through. And the Nittany Lions take an early 3-0 lead with a rather impressive opening drive. Coach Franklin protesting vehemently and looking to the football heavens for a little bit of help, too. A cool and overcast day here in Atlanta. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, celebrating the challenge of road games everywhere. Are you ready for the road? Goodyear, more driven. And an impressive drive a moment ago by the Nittany Lions to take a 3-0 lead. 9:17 to go in the opening quarter in the 56th edition of the Chick-Fil-A Peach Bowl. Mark Jones, Louis Riddick, Quinn Kessenich down to the field. Glad you decided to tap in on a great day of college football on ESPN. Rebels will have the football 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Jackson Dart coming out at quarterback, and look how long it's been between games for the respective teams. What do you think that matters for these spots?
Well, I think, here typically defense will be ahead of the offense, because offense is a more timing and rhythm side of the football. And so for Penn State, they're like, yeah, how does our defense look so far? For Ole Miss, you're going, wait a second now. So look, I think it'll take these guys a little bit of time. They'll be up to speed here, though, very quickly. These are very, very skilled football teams.
Jackson Dart, you saw a wrap on his leg. Fires a completion nonetheless, and a 1st down to Trey Harris, his main target, up to the line of scrimmage quickly after the 12-yard gain.
You see right away, you see Penn State continuing to bring the pressure. That time it's Curtis Jacobs, free runner right down the barrel, and Jackson Dart just stands in there and delivers a strike to Trey Harris.
Looking to throw again, had a man in his space, got it off, and it's incomplete. No flag on the play. Intended for Caden Lee and broken up by Kevin Winston Jr.
This pressure is just relentless. You can just see all of the guys up front. Just watch it right here. Watch this pressure right here on the interior by Keziah Izzard. Just watch him. Watch how he just takes the guard and just kind of swims him, gets off of him, and he's got his hands up in Jackson Dart's face. I mean, it's going to be like that all day long. Everything that Ole Miss is going to get, they're going to earn. This is the #1 defense in the country.
Dart on the quick slant, complete again to Harris. Nice grab, covered closely by Cam Miller, who made the tackle. An 11-yard gain and another 1st down.
Yeah, you can expect Lane Kiffin and offensive coordinator Charlie Weiss Jr. to continue to go ahead and pick at that matchup. Anytime it's single high and he's one-on-one against Cam Miller, they are going to Trey Harris. That is going to be a feature matchup all afternoon.
Dart got him in. Complete. All the way down to the 18-yard line. Wade got in behind Hardy.
Yeah, we're going to see Dayton Wade in the slot when you're playing this 3D coverage. Single high coverage, you have to carry those seam routes, because if you don't, you put your safety in a bind.
That pass tipped away, broken up intended once again for Harris. Cam Miller making his first start. One of the changes we alluded to in the secondary.
And you see again here, the pressure is just going to be coming on Jackson Dart, and he's going to have to get the ball out quickly and be good with those decisions. And look, right now, the young sophomore Cam Miller, he's battling now. He is battling. You see him here with great technique, keeping his shoulder square, doing everything he can.
And a loss on the play. Good tackle by Kobe King. Playing like a king. Sets up a third down now for the Rebels.
I mean, just man-to-man coverage. You see Kobe King, he's got the back, he's spying Quinshaw Judkins right out of the gate, and he just pulls the trigger and goes. Another tackle for a loss.
3rd and 16.
You know they got to go back to Trey Harris.
Oh boy, they got him offside. Got a free one. Now they're going to blow it dead. They blow it dead. We heard whistles down to the field. Carter and Vanover were both offsides.
We had 3 guys offside.
It looked
Offside.
like it.
Defense, number 15. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Lane Kiffin irate on the sidelines. Perhaps thinking they should have let it go. Let's bring in Matt Austin, our rules analyst. Matt, your thoughts on it blowing it dead?
I agree. I think they should have let this go. It looked like the receiver in the slot took off early, but if you look at it, he timed the snap perfectly. I think this should have been an offside and a live ball.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt. 3rd and 11. They come after him. Dart throws it up. And we're going to have another offside. This time, Kobe King and a plaintive, litigious Lane Kiffin on the sidelines.
You can see them. Like this Penn State pass rush, they are wanting to get after the quarterback now.
Let's go down to Quinn.
Caleb Warren, the center for Ole Miss, is indicating that the defensive line for Penn State made contact with his face mask, his forehead, and he is vehemently, aggressively making a case.
Oh, okay. Just a good look at it there. So in comes Caden Davis from 36 yards out, and he knocks the game at 3 apiece. Like that Nelly song, it's getting hot in here. 3-3 when we come back to Atlanta.
The Chick-Fil-A Peach Bowl is brought to you by Chick-Fil-A. It's the little things that make game day worth celebrating. And AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Wonderful Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl moments. Boy, Johnny Football had a highlight reel on one game. Look at those numbers. 455 total yards. Texas A&M winning it. And I said it was heating up a little bit under the roof here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Lane Kiffin introducing himself to the officials, and James Franklin saying, now listen, here's what I saw. Y'all need to look at this.
Yeah, this is
that was pretty civil, actually.
This is a big-time game for both of these programs. I mean, they know that right now they want to end this season on the right note with a lot of momentum going into the offseason. They're both doing a great job on the recruiting trail, and they are going to be players in 2024. This game means a lot setting up for this year and next year.
Singleton got rocked. Somebody almost lost their head down there. Wonderful tackle. Yeah, why not celebrate? Monty Montgomery had smoke for the Nittany Lions that time. Wow.
That's a big-time tone-setting type of hit on special teams. That's the kind of thing that will fire up your fan base, fire up your football team. As someone who made their living on special teams in the NFL, trust me, that right there is a fire start.
You're watching the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl from Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You know, opting out has taken on a different context. When you look at Fashanu for Penn State, not playing today, but still suiting up with his teammates and going through pregame warm-ups. He's one of the key guys on that offensive line, a NFL prospect big time. They're going to keep it on the ground here. Katron Allen, what about that, Lewis, that he still participates with his teammates?
Well, it just speaks to the personal and football character this young man has. Look, that's this coaching staff will tell you. Scouts come in always looking at NFL prospects, trying to find the things that could possibly go wrong when they get them into their own building. And they keep telling the scouts, you're not going to find anything with this young man. He's basically the perfect prospect. He's the perfect teammate. And he is someone who is going to be a heck of a pro for probably a decade or longer.
Allen in the backfield on 2nd and 4. They keep it on the ground, and for one of the few times so far in the football game, Lewis, Jared Ivey makes the tackle. The Rebels staunch against the run.
Yeah, you see it right there. Jared Ivey again on this zone read. You see Aller decides to go ahead and hand it off to Allen, even though Ivey was closing down the line of scrimmage. And that's just a nice job by the front four. Getting penetration, the linebackers were in position. You saw Sistrunk was there just in case Aller was to pull the football. That's his good team defense.
Sets up a 3rd down and 4. There's a look at what the Rebels have done defensively on 3rd down. Saunders in motion. Aller going to pick up the 1st down and then some, using his legs to move the sticks. Picks up 12 on the play.
I mean, you're going to see the pass rush here come like this, and just watch Aller. Look how calm and collected he is. You see him here looking front side. He senses the pressure, keeps 2 hands on the football, and gets up vertical in the pocket. That's where the big man, I think some people maybe underestimate his athletic ability and his ability to make yards with his feet. At 6'5", 242 pounds, he shows you right there. He's not just a thrower. He can actually run with the football.
That pass incomplete by Aller. Interesting to note that Bo Prabula was in the backfield alongside him, the backup quarterback. Pass tipped at the line of scrimmage by Jared Ivey, who made the tackle a moment ago. Prabula comes out. And we're looking at 2nd down and 10 for Penn State. Not to mention the fact that the offensive coordinator situation is different for this game for Penn State, as it has been late in the season. Talk about that in just a minute. Aller 1 of 5 passing for 12 yards. They hand it off to Singleton, who picks up about a yard on the play. Sistrunk making the tackle. Hey, coming up next, we'll have number 6 Georgia and number 5 Florida State in the Capital One Orange Bowl, hoping to end the season on a sweet note. Wonder about the mental capacity of the Seminoles coming into this game, and the tremendous disappointment going through the vicissitudes of a college football season, undefeated and yet not in the college football playoff. That game coming up. 3rd down and 9 right here.
Again, this is where Drew Aller needs to trust himself. Be clean with your read, let go of the football.
Has a clean pocket and throws wide, incomplete to Amari Evans. So it'll be 4th, and they'll have to punt.
You see that show up all too often, far too often in Penn State's film, where he has a relatively clean pocket. You see there, he's getting some pressure up the middle. You see him just drift to the left perfectly. You see the wide receiver, Amari Evans, he breaks his route off, but they're just not on the same page. The timing is just not there. And this is just a long foul ball. You've seen that show up time and time again. And that is why James Franklin made some changes to this offensive staff heading into 2024.
Watkins back to the punt. Fields it clearly at the 23 and brought down immediately. Good special teams coverage on that 48-yard punt. And one of our special spectators today, man's best friend, that's Juice, the friendly dog from the Rebels and Coach Kiffin's guy. And his friends keeping us safe. Sniffing out the bad guys. Back after this. Welcome back, everyone, to Atlanta, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. 56th chapter of the Chick-Fil-A Peach Bowl. Rebels with the football, tied 3-3 with the Nittany Lions. Bentley in the backfield. With the play fake, incomplete. Intended once again for Trey Harris. You know, things looking different for the Nittany Lions in this football game. They've got Tom Allen as their defensive coordinator after Manny Diaz took the head coaching job at Duke. One of the many changes on that side of the football.
This is the former 2020 Big Ten Coach of the Year when he was head coach at Indiana. So he and a heck of a defensive coordinator.
Dart under heat, lost the football, put it on the ground. He got hit by Abdul Carter, and they're saying it's Penn State football.
Ruling is a fumble and a recovery by the defense. First down, Penn State.
Let's take another look here.
Look, you're just going to see it here. You're going to see the stunt. You're going to see Adisa set and then come on the loop. Coming off the rear end of the nose tackle, and there he just clears the offensive line. You see right there, helmet right underneath the armpit of the quarterback, Jackson Dart.
The play has been reviewed. It has been confirmed that it was a forward pass on the play. Incomplete. It will be third down.
His arm was coming forward, so it's incomplete. But boy, Abdul Carter telling us in our meeting yesterday he likes to watch a lot of tape of Micah Parsons. He looked just like him here.
You can see it. Clean hit. It's a good thing Jackson was able to speed up his release and get that ball out of there, so it was an incomplete pass.
Let's bring in Matt Austin, our rules analyst. Matt?
Yeah, this was a good overturn. The minute that hand comes forward, he did still have possession of the ball. So that is a good overturn to an incomplete pass.
You just see the impact, though, that Abdul Carter can have on this football game in a multitude of ways.
Judkins in the backfield beside Dart. Had time and delivers a strike, complete for a first down, out beyond the 40 to the 45 almost. Prescorn with a nice little run after the catch to gain 21.
That is a great throw from Jackson Dart as far as delivering that out route to Prescorn. As you see here, the pressure has been ramped up already in this football game every time he drops back to pass. He is going to have to be very quick with his decision making. Him and the wide receivers have to be on the same page. He has to know when he's got to get that ball out hot, because you won't last taking too many of those kind of hits.
Dart on the toss to the wide side of the field. And good support off the corner by Tracy. Lewis, tell me about the tempo and the implications for the Rebels in this game.
Well, I mean, what it means here is that you're really trying to keep, number one, the defense from substituting too much, which actually tires them out. They're going to keep their calls pretty simple because they have to make decisions very, very quickly pre-snap based on the fact that you're up at the line ready to snap the ball at a moment's notice. And really what happens is fatigue usually leads to errors on the defensive side of the football. That's what you're hoping to get.
They toss it to Judkins. Nowhere to go. Boy, look at Abdul Carter lacerating that offensive front. And he got the first little bit of contact to slow down Judkins. He is an impressive athlete. He does his homework. You can
just
tell.
Watch him. Watch how quickly he is off the spot and gone. You see, he passes up 3 defenders right there. This is 6'3", 249 pounds now, and he's a sophomore. Get a good look at him this year, in this game, and then next year, because after that, I don't think you're going to be seeing
4th and 2.
Abdul Carter much longer.
J.J. Pegues coming in the backfield. They go jumbo package. Pegues hands it off. They're going to throw it and complete it to Dart, the quarterback. A wonderful bit of prestidigitation, handiwork, and Watkins with a nice throw. Lane Kiffin in his bag.
You're going to see here, Pegues flips it to Watkins, and you're going to see Jackson Dart to slip out into the flat unnoticed. Great timing on the play call by Lane Kiffin and Charlie Weiss Jr.
Going to hand it off to Bentley, and brought down right near the line of scrimmage by Jalen Reed. Here's a look at the real-time reaction from Coach Kiffin on that last little trick play. He's saying, man, he got me. You got me on that one.
It's an absolute chess match between these guys. Lane, one of the most innovative play callers. He's got a great sense for game feel.
We started the show talking about the great matchup on the sidelines. We're seeing it materialize. What a catch by Harris. Got in behind Zion Tracy. And it's going to be 1st and goal for Ole Miss.
There's one of those young freshmen, Zion Tracy, the true freshman from Hempstead, New York, going up against one of the best one-on-one ball receivers in college football.
Underneath. Touchdown. Pre-scoring. With 30 seconds to go in the quarter. Mississippi leading 9-3 with the extra point to come. You know what? Jackson Dart is taking a lot of hits today. And it's going to be interesting to see what he looks like in terms of his overall fitness level in the middle of the third, fourth quarter, Lewis.
Yeah.
There's a cumulative effect.
I mean, tip of the cap to him right now,
yes,
as far as his toughness, his decision-making, getting the ball out quick, because Penn State's front seven is relentless.
Let's take a look at that trick play a moment ago.
I mean, you're going to see it right here. You're going to see Dart just leak out here. You're going to see the ball snap to Pegues on the direct snap. He's going to give it to Watkins, who's going to come around, and you're just going to see the toss play, the pass out here to Dart in the flat. There's the direct snap, the toss. Jackson runs the flat.
Man.
All Jordan Watkins has to do is just lay it out there, just give it to him. Just don't dirt ball it, don't throw it at his feet, don't throw it over his head, and you're off to the races.
Dart in the pit getting a tire change there, and a little celebration on the Rebel sideline. The one thing that we've seen so far in this football game, partner, is incredible verve and spirit from both these teams. And Jackson Dart, 6 of 13, and we see that problematic left ankle being rewrapped.
We were talking about it in the break. We were talking about the tempo and the intensity of this game. This game feels like a championship caliber game. Like they're playing for a lot that may be at stake here. These are two programs, like I said, are trying to set the tone for ending off this year and going into 2024. And I can tell you, we thought this was going to be one of the best games of bowl season, and it has lived up to that because these kids out here today are getting after it.
Hey, the college football playoff semifinals are New Year's Day on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus. Number 1 Michigan taking on number 4 Alabama in the Rose Bowl game presented by Prudential at 5 Eastern. Then it's number 2 Washington and number 3 Texas in the All-State Sugar Bowl. The winners play Monday, January 8th for the College Football Playoff National Championship presented by AT&T on ESPN. Let's see if the Nittany Lions can regain their offensive rhythm that they had going on the opening drive. They keep it on the ground with Katron Allen, and he picks up a first down, but a late flag throw. We'll see if it stands. Looks like there's going to be a hold here against Hunter Norzad.
Holding offense number 64. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
I'm going to bring it back a few yards. Penn State with co-offensive coordinators for this football game. And it's interesting that quarterback Drew Aller said he took it personal. He was playing with a heavy heart for a few days after Mike Jurczyk was fired in wake of that loss against Ohio State. Pardon me, against Michigan. Perbula in the ball game. He is split out as a receiver to the top of your screen. Now you see him in motion. He's QB number 2. Aller QB1. Threw it, and it found its way to Warren. Wow! Warren on the move. Got a blocker out in front of him. Down inside the 10. Belated Merry Christmas. 1st and goal, Nittany Lions. Santa came a little late, Lewis. That ball took a favorable care of
the first quarter.
And what an unbelievable play by Drew Aller, who holds the football. He's trying to get the ball immediately to Tyler Warren. Decides not to. Navigates the pocket. You can see there. He's looking at him right there and decides, I'm not going to throw it. I'm just going to do a little bit of this first and then throw it back across my body. And Tyler Warren is off to the races.
They drew it up that way.
Yeah. All's well that ends well.
You're watching the Chick-Fil-A Peach Bowl from Atlanta. The jewel of the South and the epicenter of college football. First down and goal coming up for Penn State after that 76-yard play to Tyler Warren, the longest play offensively of the season for the Nittany Lions. From the 5. Singleton in the backfield. Singleton on the run. And big stop up front by the Rebels. Jean-Baptiste with the stop. Lewis, almost prophetically, we said at the top of the show, this game had all the elements of a final, a championship.
Yeah, you're seeing two football teams that are very much so determined to do what's necessary to try and win this football game. I love the fact that Drew Aller is still out there trying to make plays despite the fact that he's had some trouble throwing the football this year and producing explosive plays. And you saw right there the explosive to Tyler Warren, one of the longest plays of the year. The defense, as advertised, just as Ole Miss's offense.
Aller under duress, got rid of it. Out of bounds. That sets up a 3rd down and goal. Good backside pressure by Ukwu.
I mean, that's just a great pass rush. And you just see him beat the left tackle, Drew Shelton, with speed on the high side, just shot out of a cannon. Again, he's replacing the opted out Cedric Johnson, who was declared for the draft and opted not to play in this football game. And Isaac Ukwu.
Prabula comes into the ball game. QB2 Aller on the sidelines.
And they bring him in for his running ability, and his ability to get out on the perimeter and make good decisions in terms of run pass.
He keeps it. And he's going to be stopped at about just inside the 2-yard line. So 4th down and goal. Aller is going to come back into the football game. Looks like they're going to go for it here.
Yeah, that is a heck of a job by John Saunders, the star safety, coming downhill and making that tackle on Prabula. Otherwise, that would have been 6.
Analytics say go for it on 4th and 2 or less. Johnson in motion, now sets. Johnson, touchdown Penn State. These teams throwing body blows at each other and answering respectively. Theo Johnson with his 7th touchdown catch of the season. Guy that models his game after George Kittle, among other great stars in the league right now. And the Nittany Lions an extra point away from tying this football game at 10 in the first meeting ever between these two squads. He loved it.
You can see Theo Johnson's just delay and release to the flat, and you see the corner, Zamari Walton. He doesn't keep his eyes on his work. He gets out leveraged. Drew Aller with the quick trigger. Result is 6, just how you draw it up.
Let's check out today's Good Hands plays brought to you by Allstate, and some tremendous skill play on the field and some trickery as well.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin said, look, this is just Philly special. Just run to the left instead of to the right, as Philadelphia did in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. You see right there, Drew Aller showing his improvisational skills.
That had me thinking Franco Harris for a minute. Just for a quick minute, I'll admit it.
I hear you.
Penn State connection and everything.
But I love the confidence that Aller is starting to show, despite some of the troubles they have throwing the football outside the numbers.
Bentley on the kickoff return. Going to be brought down right around the 20-yard line. First down and 10 from there. For the Rebels offense and quarterback Jackson Dart. Strong leader, loves to prepare, always in the film room. Transfer from USC, has all of his weapons intact. And we've already seen Trey Harris make a few catches today.
You heard Coach Kiffin talk about the fact that they got to run the football a little bit better. Well, I mean, good luck running the football against a team that's given up less than 70 yards rushing per game. Like that.
You were saying 1 yard gain. Ellie making the tackle. Elise Jackson Dart. He has been absorbing a lot of hits. Physicality of that Nittany line defense on display on the receiver screen. It's complete. Out to the 26-yard line. King making the tackle on Lee. A gain of 5 on the play.
Every single hit is a big hit on both sides. Both of these defenses right now are running and hitting. That's what Penn State has been known for. They were known for this back in the 80s when I was playing against them. They have had a long tradition of playing old school, fundamentally sound, physical, just absolutely put the pressure on you for 4 quarters type of football. And this has been no different. This game has been spectacular.
Nittany line player shaken up on the field is Kobe King, number 41, the starting Mike linebacker, middle linebacker, on 3rd down and 4 coming up. And a moment ago, Q had an opportunity to catch up with Coach Kiffin.
Coach, you watch Penn State on tape. Now you see them in person. What jumps out at you?
Well, they tackle extremely well. They play physical, and we're having a problem with their rushing. So glad our guys took opportunity on 4th and 1 to make the Philly special, keep it alive, and go down and score. And you can't do anything about that last play. That's just horrible luck.
Fantastic call by you, Coach. What are your answers to pressure?
Well, we got to throw quick. We got to run the ball some too, because we're becoming one-dimensional. But obviously, we're winning outside in a one-on-one, so it'll be a chess game.
Thank you.
You love it. You love it. Because that's exactly what this is. It's a chess game. The one thing that Penn State wants to do, the next level for their offense, is to be able to win outside and create explosives down the field. Ole Miss can do that, but they can't run it. Penn State can run it.
On 3rd and 4, the slant complete to his safety blanket. Trey Harris with another reception is 4th, working against Zion Tracy.
But we
10-yard gain.
We said at the beginning of this game, Trey Harris is a problem. He is just a problem, and they're going to him over and over.
Blitz coming off the corner, up in the air, and there he is again, down to the 40-yard line. Harris with another grab. The angular and agile Trey Harris going up in the air to make a nice grab to pick up 24. Former quarterback himself. They galvanized their chemistry together this summer in California during workouts. Into the boundary, that's Judkins. And Judkins picking up a 1st down. Tempo being impactful here.
Yeah, what a nice play call. They have backside pullers to pull the left guard and left tackle going to the right, and Jackson pitches the ball to the left. Really tests the eye discipline of the Penn State defense.
It's going to be Judkins on the carry. Picked up about 3 on the play. Elston making the tackle for Penn State.
See how they go fast, go fast, go fast. Now let's slow it down a little bit. Now we're down here in the what you would call the high red zone at the plus 26.
2nd down and 7 coming up. Rebels go 2 by 2. Dart fakes the toss and keeps it himself on what looked like a predetermined quarterback run. Picks up 3, sets up 3rd down and a long 3 to go.
Another big hit just put on Jackson Dart. Just unbelievable. That time it's the safety Wheatley along with Abdul Carter, man. Wow.
He's going to be in one of those hyperbaric chambers after the game doing some recovery work. He is and was noticeably limping a little bit earlier, not so much now.
False start. Offense number 79. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
It's kind of like those Disney football movies. Every hit is one of those helicopter hits where the guy gets spun around and dart has been on the wrong end a couple of those.
He is just so tough, and the players really do rally around the fact that he is as tough as he is. I know I saw where Quinshon Judkins talked about it in the Mississippi State game in the Egg Bowl. He took a big hit in that game. He said it fired up the rest of the team. They wanted to take up for him.
3rd and 9. Under heat again, got rid of it, incomplete. And it's going to be 4th down coming up, intended for Judkins, who snuck out of the backfield. And in come the field goal unit.
Quinshon would have just kept running and run through that throw, he would have picked up the first down. He would have been able to carry the safety Jalen Reed for the first down. It's just a game of inches, man. That's the difference between converting and now having to settle for 3.
Davis is 4 of 6 from 40 to 49 yards. This one coming from 45 out. And that is true facts. Mississippi leads 13-10 with 10:33 to go in the first half.
The Chick-Fil-A Peach Bowl is brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And Gatorade. Gatorade is helping millions play. Gatorade, fuel tomorrow.
Live, love, and laugh. Whether it's go-karts, a visit to the children's hospital, or getting haircuts at the barber shop. What a week it's been for these players. Football Feud, where they squared off. The pride and holistic impact for the players who suit up for this game and this community. This is what bowls are all about.
Q, who won the belt? You buried the lead. Who won the belt? Who won the feud?
Ole Miss won the feud.
Okay.
Ole Miss, but the Panda, which we may see in this broadcast, Yang Yang, the Panda, he's favoring the Nittany Lions.
Okay. Oh, he picked Penn State. Okay. Great football game. 10.5 to go here in the first half. Aller will take over. Well, hey, yeah. Q just alluded to the Panda. Show me, Q.
Atlanta Zoo. So here we are. They do this every year. People put big money on this, let me tell you. Panda sniffs it out. Apparently some Nittany Lion alums may have gotten to the box before the competition, but sayonara to that box. He tears this thing apart. Yang Yang.
Oh, Yang.
He was calm about it, too.
Yeah.
Look at him.
He was.
He's like, I ain't in no hurry.
Yeah. he big mad when he found out there was no meat inside.
He sits down. He just kind of plops down.
First down and 10. Drew Aller hands it off to Allen. If you're Penn State, as Allen picks up about 6 yards, can you just pound away? Is it as simple as just keeping it on the ground?
Yeah, I think you still have to go ahead and make sure that Ole Miss respects your ability to throw the football, because otherwise they'll just load the box ridiculously. But when you have running backs, when you have Allen averaging 7.5 per carry and Singleton averaging 6.6, yeah, I mean, this is who they are. They're a 12 personnel, 2 tight end, 2 wideouts, and just shuttle through these 2 fantastic backs and ride these tight ends in the pass game.
Johnson in motion. He caught the touchdown for Penn State earlier. Aller to his safety valve, incomplete to Allen. And it'll be 3rd down and 4 coming up for the Nittany Lions.
You see there, he had tight end Tyler Warren coming open on the wide dig, on the in breaker late. But by that time, he had already started moving up in the pocket and decided to get the ball out to the check down and just missed him. But that's really what's plagued this offense, the inability to consistently threaten down the field outside the numbers. And it's something James Franklin talked about when we met with him, and they're going to address this offseason, trying to get better on the perimeter.
In losses to Michigan, Ohio State, they scored just 15 and 12 points, respectively. Blitz coming by the Rebels, picked up. And a first down reception over the middle by Dinkins. Khalil Dinkins with his first reception for 12 yards. Good poise.
I want you to watch right here. Watch this blitz pickup by Katron Allen. Watch this. Wham! That's how you do it. He knocked Ladarius Tennyson back 2 yards. Now, I understand Tennyson's only 5'9", 200 pounds, so he's a very undersized linebacker. But as a young running back, as a true sophomore, that's how you protect your quarterback. That's the kind of thing professional scouts are looking for. That's how you play the game.
Hit him with some vibranium on that one. Aller taking a shot deep. That's a duck. And that's going to be picked off at the 17-yard line. The Rebels with an interception. And that's Anthony. Jared Ivey made the hit that caused the interception.
This is one of those situations where, again, Drew Aller, you could tell he wasn't sure if he wanted to throw it. You saw him hitch and hold the football because the wide receiver was not coming open. The DB, John Saunders, had played it perfectly. You see him there. He's going, should I? Probably shouldn't have.
Welcome back, everyone. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Road tested and game ready. Are you ready for the road? Goodyear. More driven a moment ago. Hey, an interception for the Rebels. Anthony, look at the block out by John Saunders. Blocking off the receiver there, and then the ensuing slam dunk on, see the Penn State logo on the backboard.
This Ole Miss defense led the SEC in interceptions this year with 12. They are opportunistic when the ball is in the air. Drew Aller is going to have to do a better job of protecting the football and not throw it up for grabs down the middle of the field.
Bentley in the backfield. Dart. Oh, what a catch! Is it inbounds? Prescorn. Man, he just put some money on tape. What a catch for 20 yards.
It's the timing and anticipation because he has Daquan Hardy coming right down the barrel again on him. He has to let that ball go a little bit early and distrust that Prescorn is going to be where he needs him to be. That's high-level quarterback play right there by Jackson Dart.
First down and 10 from the 3rd and 7. Trey Hallis. Split to the top of your screen. On the handoff, this is Bentley trying to get to the edge. Pushed out of bounds about a yard short of that first down. Bentley running like a Maybach.
That's a nice read by Ulysses Bentley, who's more of a slasher, has a little bit more juice than Quinshad Judkins. And I don't mean that with any disrespect to Judkins, but Bentley's just different. He's a slasher.
They go empty. Dart going to run for the first down and pick it up at midfield. Let's take another look at that catch a moment ago by Prescorn.
How about that? And get the left foot, right and left foot down inbounds. He got 2-feeted. So really, it's the anticipation by Dart, letting that ball go a little bit early under pressure.
They told us that Prescorn was going to be more of a weapon moving forward. 7.5 to go in the opening half. They keep it on the ground. Bentley, a yawning hole up the middle and a gain of about 9.5. Kobe King finally making the tackle. This graphic telling one of the prevailing stories of the game. On the pass, one-on-one coverage, and caught inside the 15 by Dayton Wade. He was working against Cam Miller, who's making his first start, but there's a flag back near the line of scrimmage.
Offense number 56, 10-yard penalty, replay second down.
So they're going to bring it back, but one more look at this catch.
You can see Dayton Wade, he just beat the corner Cam Miller right at the line of scrimmage. Cam up there in press coverage, doesn't get any kind of reroute, any kind of jam, anything to throw off the timing and rhythm. And for Jackson Dart, you can see right now he is on his game with his wide receivers. If you don't disrupt the timing either by hitting Jackson or rerouting these wide receivers, it's going to be a long afternoon as far as their ability to defend the pass.
2nd and 11. Pass complete at midfield to the tight end, Prescorn again.
Let me just tell you how precise this passing game is working right now. On that little option route by Prescorn, you had 2 defenders of Penn State. You had Daquan Hardy and Kobe King close on that ball as fast as you humanly can do it. and he still fitted in, or either it was Abdul Carter.
And we get a flag.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense number 78. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
I want to ask you a question, Lewis. We talked about it at the opening of the show. There's some changes in the defensive secondary for Penn State. Kalen King, the number 1 cornerback, not available, and some other guys absent, Chop Robinson. But in particular, what do you make of the play of the secondary so far? What kind of grade would you give it?
Yeah, I mean, the corners on the outside, they're struggling a little bit, but you expected that with Trey Harris. And that's why they know defensively they have to hit the quarterback to help out these young corners.
Blitz coming off the edge, pre-scoring again. Ends up about 3 yards shy of the first down, with 4th down coming up. Kevin Winston Jr. making the stop.
And Kevin Winston Jr. is another one of those guys that defensive coordinator Anthony Poindexter pointed out as being someone who has really upped his game over the past month and a half. A fantastic athlete, 6'2", 203. He has the perfect build for the modern-day safety.
Analytics say go for it on 4th and 3. Toss into the boundary. They're going to pick it up with more to spare. Judkins moves the chains again. Judkins with his 8th rush of the day. He's picked up 25 yards, and that is a pejorative sight for Penn State backers. Abdul Carter.
He got rolled up on.
Yeah. He is their most dynamic player on defense, being attended to by the athletic training staff. We'll have more on the other side. Well, an unpropitious sight a moment ago if you're for Penn State. Abdul Carter right there, number 11, got rolled up on that right ankle, lower leg area. He limped off to the sideline, tried to run off. And you know, he's a really tough young man. He talked to us earlier about his dad, Christopher, and the wrestling matches they used to have when he was a young man, and his dad being his idol and training him and working with him, giving every bit of love and support as a father that he could. How many times do you think he pinned Dad?
I've seen some pictures of his dad. I don't think as a kid he was winning too many.
Okay. 1 yard gain that time.
I'll tell you this, Abdul is an absolute stud. A stud. He will be a superstar. He already is a superstar in college football. He'll have a long career in the NFL.
Dart fires wide open. Pre-scoring. Touchdown, Rebels. .37 yards for the score. This time, Dart throwing one to Prescorn. And we intimated at the top of the show that Lane Kiffin's offensive acumen and enterprising nature on that side of the football at some point is going to be a huge factor. The extra point just inside that left upright. And that's the second touchdown catch of the day for Prescorn.
Look, it's just a great play call. You're going to see him fake the pitch to Judkins right here. And you're going to see Prescorn sneak out around the boundary. You're going to have this and this and this. Watch the secondary. They think it's going to be a pitch to Judkins. And you see them all coming downhill.
Oh.
And they just turn Prescorn loose. They lose sight of him because their eyes go in the backfield because they see the ball handling of Jackson Dart, making it look like it's going to be a quick toss out on the perimeter, and he just pulls it. Prescorn is lined up number 3 in that trips on the inside. They lose track of him. He sneaks out on the wheel route, and he's down the sideline scot-free.
And I just asked you about the secondary play of Penn State a moment ago, and kind of hinted that there were some things going on, and this is the just reward. I'll give that a 9. That's pretty tight.
I can tell you this, Caden Prescorn is having the day now. That's 6 catches for 96 yards and 2 touchdowns.
crew from Oxford, Mississippi. Up by 10 points right now with just under 5 minutes to go in the first half. Hey, coming up on the Mercedes-Benz halftime report, Reese, Joey, Dez from Pasadena. Is Milroe the difference? And the Bobby Dodd Coach of the Year. What is the requisite response right now, though, for Penn State on offense? What is it supposed to look like in a best-case scenario on this drive?
Well, I think here, look, still down by 10 points. You have to continue to feature the running game, continue to feature the tight ends. Tyler Warren is having a nice game. Theo Johnson, get him involved. And Drew Allen just has to make good decisions. No more balls up in the middle of the field and just throwing up ill-advised passes.
Allen on the handoff. Looking a little bit different right now on the ground for Penn State. Gain of about a yard on the play.
I think you have to continue to test Ole Miss's resolve up front, meaning their willingness to continue to play big boy football when you decide to just come downhill with this offensive line that across the board goes 306, 348, 320, 324, 328. They've got to start leaning on this Ole Miss front. And these backs that both go 220 plus have to hit this thing and break some big runs. And Drew has to get a play down the field. The passing game has to surface again.
They set up a screen, middle screen complete to the tight end. That is Johnson, Theo Johnson out of Windsor, Ontario, Canada, picks up 14 yards. And they move the chains. He's one of the leaders on that side of the football. In a battle of tight end so far. Johnson with a touchdown catch, and that catch a moment ago. Prieskorn on the other side of the ledger with a couple of touchdown catches and almost 100 yards total receiving.
We've seen some nice acrobatic catches, some one-handers, both by Tyler Warren on his long catch and run. And Prieskorn just having a day.
Pribula taking the snap out of the shotgun, keeps it, and he's got some room. Made a nice move down to the 47-yard line. Tried to shake John Saunders, but Saunders wasn't going for the banana in the tailpipe. Picked up 12 yards anyway.
Yeah, I think Jawan Sider, the co-offensive coordinator for this game for Penn State, understands who they are at this point. And they are a run-heavy team, tight end-centric team. Bring Pribula in to give him a different look as far as his run ability.
And they do it again here, Lewis. He's going to take the snap again. Aller split to the top of your screen, number 15, the inside receiver, Pribula. Has a man, complete, down to the 20, Singleton, standing on business, touchdown, Penn State. Pribula with a little bit of trickery from Penn State leads the touchdown. The margin down to just 4 now. Oh, Pribula out of York, PA. Makes it a 3-point game with his 4th touchdown pass this season. And that 48-yarder, a career-long pass. And boy, a great run afterwards by Singleton, Lewis.
This is a fantastic play design. Just look at it. You have Drew Aller up here at the top. And here you have the running back, Nicholas Singleton. He's going to fake it to him. Fake it's going to, so it's going to look like he's going to throw the football to Drew Aller for a double pass. And then you see Singleton just sneak out of the backfield. He just puts it on him, and then he just does the rest, which is exactly what you want to do. Just get the ball in the hands of these running backs.
Look at Pribula. I loved it.
But give Jawan Sider and Ty Howell, the co-offensive coordinators for this game, a lot of credit. Yes. Dipping into their playbook and saying, hey, look, we need a spark. Let's put both of these quarterbacks on the field and get it into the hands of our best playmakers. And that either being Nicholas Singleton or Katron Allen out of the back.
You said dipping into their playbook, man. They're in their bag like the fries are at the bottom, man. I mean, both teams right now. And Lewis, you talked about it. Howell and Sider, cited by quarterback Drew Aller as a couple of coaches that really don't get enough credit for the great things they've done with the offense coming into the game. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 25 for the Rebels. Mark Jones here alongside Louis Riddick. Quint Kessenich down in the field here on the 56th chapter of the Chick-Fil-A Peach Bowl, and Jackson Dart coming out. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 25, a matchup between the Rebels and the Nittany Lions. The first ever meeting between these two teams, and interestingly enough, Penn State's first appearance in this bowl. Abdul Carter is not on the field. Interesting to note for Penn State. Gain of about 4 on the play by Judkins. History could be made by the Rebels if they win today. It would be their 11th win of the season, first time in program history. And if Penn State wins, it would be their 6th win to complete the cycle of each and every New Year's Six bowl. Wade with the reception on the play to move the chains with 2:20 to go in the first half. 7-yard pickup.
Just keep your eye on the pinpoint accuracy right now of Jackson Dart. He just got that ball over the hand, the outstretched hand of Zariah Fisher on that little out route there to Dayton Wade. Throwing the ball beautiful.
They'll keep it on the ground this time, and a nice tackle from behind on the play. Denny Sutton. Denai Sutton, pardon me.
You see right now number 43, Tyler Elton, has come in for Abdul Carter, number 43 at the linebacker position.
Dart moved off of his spot, pursued and pressed out of bounds right near that line of scrimmage. 3rd down coming up.
And obviously in this kind of situation, when you're looking at a 3rd and long, Caden Prieskorn has been the guy, Trey Harris has been the guy. I mean,
he's got some options there.
You know, obviously Anthony Poindexter, the defensive coordinator for Penn State, knows this too. But those are the 2 guys who have been making plays over and over again.
They've got 3 different receivers during the course of the year that amassed 700 or more yards receiving. Dart has completed 11 of his last 12 throws. Down the sideline, and there is Mr. Everything for him. It's Trey Day, and a 1st down catch by Trey Harris.
And you could see Jackson Dart read that immediately pre-snap. He saw the safety, Kevin Winston, creeping down into the box. He knew, I've got one-on-one again with Trey Harris against Cam Miller.
Trey Harris, a transfer from Louisiana Tech. We told his story prior to kickoff. Over 100 yards receiving now in the football game, and he's another guy that really admires his father. He talked about his dad in glowing terms, said, I want to be just like him. He learned the power of sacrifice from dad, trained him as a kid, and slow to get up after this catch.
See him there. Gets the foot down.
Let's work in Matt Austin, our rules analyst, to see Matt. Matt, you're getting a lot of FaceTime and airtime. Tell us what's up here, man, on this catch, or not.
I'm not so sure this is a catch. As he goes to the ground, the ball's underneath him. The ball definitely touches the ground, and it looks like one of his hands comes off the football. Now, it gets to be subjective here. Is that a loss of firm control? That's going to be up to the replay official to decide. But to me, I think this is an incomplete pass.
All right.
You see it slide out.
They moved around a lot.
Bit.
Yeah. That's the angle.
The previous play has been reviewed. It is to confirm that the receiver did not maintain the process of making the catch inbounds. It's an incomplete pass. It'll be 4th down.
Well, Trey's dad, Cleveland, will be a little bit upset about that ruling, but it appeared to be the correct one. With 1:34 to go now in the first half, it'll come back to the original line of scrimmage.
Look, the young sophomore corner, Cam Miller, number 5, is out here going, look, I'm getting a great opportunity out here one-on-one to go against one of the best wide receivers in the country. And he's battling as best he can because Trey Harris and Jackson Dart have been on fire today, along with Caden Prescorn.
They're giving him work.
Oh, absolutely. These young corners are definitely getting some work.
Trey's ability on those fades, those contested catches, supreme. But his dad, Cleveland, here today, a dream come true, to be in Atlanta watching his son. Cleveland works on oil rigs out in the Gulf. 3 months out, 1 month back in. Today, a special day.
No doubt. A heartening afternoon for Cleveland and his son so far. And a fair catch called at the 16-yard line by Daquan Hardy. It'll be 1st and 10 from there after that 46-yard punt. Drew Aller is from Ohio and was offered by Ohio State. But first, folks, want to tell you our next NFL game is Saturday night in Dallas. Jared Goff and the Lions, Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, 8 Eastern on ABC, ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus. The 20-24 NFL Draft is in Detroit. April 25th, 26th, and 27th. We'll have every pick once again on ESPN with our usual analysts. You'll be on that show, Lewis. I'll be looking for you like I always do.
Absolutely. I'll be there all 3 days.
On the run, this is Trey Potts. And Potts with a burst for the first down. They're going to work quickly here. Penn State maintaining all 3 of its timeouts. An 11-yard pickup. I
really love what the offensive coordinator Sider and Howell are doing, to staying true to who they are, riding their horses that got them here.
Not able to escape the rush that time. Sistrunk making the tackle for the Rebels. Under a minute to play here in the opening half. Trey Potts in the backfield. Aller fires incomplete. Boy, that should be a routine throw and catch, but it stops the clock with 50 seconds to go. And you'd think they'd at least effort a field goal with the time remaining and the timeouts remaining, but looking at a 3rd and 11 here. Singleton back in the football game in the backfield. Got to get to the 37 to pick up the first down. Aller going to try to run it. The operative word being try, and Jared Ivey there to bring him to the turf.
You see Lane Kiffin standing right there by the official with the quick timeout. He wants another crack at this. He wants another possession here before the half ends. The Rebel defense feels like it's made the requisite adjustment, turned a little bit of a corner, especially against the run game of late. Yeah, it ebbs and flows for them. They'll give up a big play, they'll give up a big run, and then they'll come out and get a couple stops. I mean, it's been a nice back and forth. It really has. The Penn State defense started off like gangbusters, really putting a lot of big hits on Jackson Dart, getting a lot of pressure. But Jackson Dart, the passing game has just been on fire. 239 yards here in the first half. That is not what you would expect. But maybe it's not that much of a surprise considering the corners that are out for this football game. But this has been a back and forth game. It's going to go down to the wire, last possession type of deal.
Riley Thompson going to punt from his own 11-yard line. A low snap. And gets off a wonderful punt. Takes an auspicious bounce and stops at the 23-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 from there for Jackson Dart after the 52-yard effort. With 35 seconds to go in this first half.
And Ole Miss has 2 timeouts, 35 seconds left. And obviously the success they have early on in this drive will dictate just how much Lane wants to continue to try and push down the field and see if he can add more points on the board.
Never sleep on Lane Kiffin.
No question.
When it comes to the offensive side of the football. See how they play it here. Judkins in the backfield. He gets the call. And Judkins out across the 30 to the 31. 7-yard gain. Wiley making the tackle for the Nittany Lions.
Lane not using the timeouts. He's going to be content to go into the half. Up 3.
Judkins going to pick up the first down out to the 35-yard line.
Judkins ran for over 1,000 yards this season again. He slowed a little bit earlier this season by injuries, but picked up the pace around the midway point, third way into the season. Really hit stride. And
second charge timeout, Ole Miss.
Rebels going to call a timeout with a second to go. Is this the trick play? he has every defensive coordinator walking on eggshells, right?
Yeah, he sure does. And I'm wondering what he has up his sleeve here and what was the impetus behind calling a timeout with 1 second left. We saw the players start making their way towards the locker room too before he called that timeout.
It's part of the con. It's part of the con. And they're going to whistle it dead.
First charge timeout, Penn State.
James Franklin says, okay, yeah, I got something for you too. It's two coaches with a nice relationship between the two of them. And here's the trick play we were alluding to a little bit earlier. Dart leaking out to catch this pass and pick up a first down. Led to a touchdown. I find it interesting after all these years that this is actually the first meeting between these two teams, and earlier last month during research finding out that Penn State have never played in this game before. Okay, so he hands it off. Judkins with a nice burst into the Nittany Lions side of midfield, and
third and final charge timeout, Ole Miss.
And as you look at Penn State, the player injured down on the field for the Nittany Lions, so much has changed in the landscape of college football, right? We have the transfer portal, we have name, image, and likeness, and student athletes with the ability to earn income. But one thing remains constant and invariable and inexorable. That is the simplicity of Penn State when it comes to their uniforms. Straight hard blue, no names on the back of the jerseys, the plain white helmets. Yeah, that brings you back to a certain era in time, whether it be romanticized or not. They are who they are. And we heard it in the hotel last night. We are Penn State. A lot of it. One of the storied programs in college football.
See Penn State's defense right now lining up, anticipating a throw into the end zone, a Hail Mary type of throw. Ole Miss three wide receivers trips to the top of the screen.
Trey Harris, number 9, the top receiver, the angular Trey Harris at 6'3" almost. He's going to come underneath. They're going to play the lateral game. That's Wade with the reception, and he whips it out of bounds. Well, you can keep the drama for your mama.
It's interesting tactics by Lane Kiffin there at the end of the half. Always have to be on your toes with him, man. He is always keeping you thinking.
I love bowl season, Louis Riddick. An entertaining first half. Dart and Harris leading the way for the Rebels. 3-point ball game. Halftime coming up. Welcome back, everyone, to Atlanta. You're watching the Chick-Fil-A Peach Bowl. The 56th chapter of this wonderful bowl game. 20-17, the Rebels leading the Nittany Lions. And some very telling
numbers, cogent numbers from the first half as we take a look at our game recap.
You see it here. Penn State came out firing as far as the pressure they were putting on Jackson Dart and the way they were hitting him. And you could see there after Ole Miss kind of went, they started using some trick plays and started to find their rhythm. James Franklin right there was just kind of looking up going, hey, wait a minute, are they starting to heat up here? And the heat up they actually did. 340 total yards in the first half against a team that's only given up 223 yards per game in Penn State's defense.
You didn't have that on your New Year's bingo card, did you?
Not at all. I mean, you knew that they would test them throwing the football down the field, especially with Penn State having some corners out. But, wow, look, Lane Kiffin is one of the very best. He really is, and he has added some firepower to this football team that going into 2024, I'm telling you folks, preseason they're going to be ranked top 5, and they got some defensive players coming that are going to help out this defense. And for Penn State,
I'm a little concerned if I'm Drew Aller right
exactly.
now. In that 5 for 14, and it's not just the numbers, Lewis. What are your thoughts on them being able to make the Rebels' secondary respect the throwing threat?
Well, what you've seen is that they haven't really decided to intentionally push the ball down the field outside the numbers. And I don't know if that's because they don't have confidence in guys like Keandre Lambert-Smith or Dante Cephas or Omari Evans, who we've seen this year really be able to stretch the field. He had a big catch against Michigan State a couple weeks ago. But they are really a middle-of-the-field attacking team, tight end-centric, running back-centric, and they don't really let Drew really air the ball out. So it'll be interesting to see how they approach here the second half. And then going forward, how do they address the wide receiver position, Mark, and create more explosive plays offensively? Because that's what's holding this team back from taking another step.
I've not seen many targets for Lambert-Smith, Evans. And that's one of the questions that beg moving forward here in the third and fourth quarters. Penn State with a win would check the final box on winning all 6 of the New Year's 6 bowl games. And for the Rebels, should they win this afternoon, it would be the first time in school history that a team would have won 11 games in a season. 30 minutes to play to answer those respective questions. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Nittany Lions from the 25. Let's go downstairs to Q for some Q tips.
How can we better convert the quarterback pressure that we are getting into turnovers? The words of James Franklin, Penn State head coach. It's a team that comes into this game at plus 18 turnover margin. And then the second thing is late in the second quarter, the slants, RPOs, and tempo game of Ole Miss started to wear on Penn State's defense. It is not a whole defense. Again, no Chop Robinson, 2 top corners out. Abdul Carter was shaken up in that second quarter.
1st down and 10. That's Warren in motion. Going to keep it on the ground on the first play. Katron Allen dancing between the tackles, picks up about 4 yards. Let's take a count here and revisit who exactly is not playing in this game. And one of the best offensive linemen in the country right there, Bashanu.
And you can see the corners, Johnny Dixon and Kalen King. Those are 2 guys that are desperately missed in this football game because they're fantastic man cover corners. And Lane Kiffin is going after this young corner group that's been on the field.
Allen is going to be stopped up right near the line of scrimmage, setting up a 3rd down, about 6 to go. Harris and Ivy combining to make the stop for the Rebels.
That was a nice play by Jared Ivy, the senior defensive end who's coming back for another year, really wants to improve his draft stock. They talked about the fact that he's going to get his body right, become even bigger and stronger and faster because he is wonderfully, wonderfully talented. He's a hometown guy here from North Gwinnett. So he's playing, I'm sure, in front of family, putting his best foot forward.
Warren in motion. Looking down the middle of the field and incomplete. Intended for Warren. And he overthrew him by a bunch. Trey Washington in on coverage. And it'll be 4th down, a quick 3 and out for the Nittany Lions to start this second half.
You can just see it. There was nowhere really to go with the football. I mean, you said it. Trey Washington had real tight coverage on Tyler Warren. The wide receivers on the outside, the corners, Prince and Walton had them locked down. There's really nowhere to go. And you can see there, Drew Aller's telling James, look, these guys are covered.
Yeah. This is like one of those, what did you see on that play questions from Coach. At the 25, Watkins making the fair catch. It'll be 1st and 10 from there after the 46-yard punt. Dart leading the offense for the Rebels.
Looks like Abdul Carter's on his way back out.
Wow, okay. We saw him limping off the field not that long ago, but
the young man's a warrior now. Because that was a nasty roll-up that happened.
Freshman All-American a season ago, and offenses started scheming against him this year, and he made all the requisite adjustments. And another fantastic season for the #1 defense in the country.
And a lot of that has to do with what? Has to do with getting in the film room, understanding tendencies, how people are trying to take him out of the game. And once he takes that next step, man, I mean, come on, you see the physical ability.
What a play fake, complete over the middle to Prescorn again. Picks up the 1st down at the 40-yard line. Here's how Abdul Carter was hurt earlier in the game. Got rolled up on that right leg, and
that's nasty, man.
It's not supposed to bend that way, but pressure off the edge and incomplete. Isaac with good heat, but back to Carter. Lewis, he's from Philadelphia, man. No soft guys coming out of the nitty-gritty city, you know?
No, Abdul, he's the truth, man. You can tell he was intense when he walked in the room yesterday. He sat down, had his hands in his lap, and looking straight ahead. And he would look straight ahead until you asked him a question, then he would look at you, and then he'd look back straight ahead. He was like, look, I'm just here for business. That's all I'm here for. Yep. I loved it. Loved every second of it.
He should have just had a suit and a tie on, too, the way he was talking to us. It was great. 2nd down and 10. This is Judkins. Good pursuit by the Nittany Lions. Judkins stepping out of bounds at about the 37-yard line.
And you can see Abdul's compromised, though. He was in pursuit. He was moving laterally along the line of scrimmage on the 2nd level, trying to run that down, and you could see he just doesn't have his normal burst. Because otherwise, he probably would have made that play. Question: how long is he going to stay in the game?
Prescorn in motion. We go trips left. Dart comes back the other way, and another completion to Trey Harris. Man, he is giving Cam Miller so much work. He should be an employee right now.
It's the timing. Look, and you can see Abdul Carter here. You can see that he's compromised, man. He just can't take off and burst. But I'll tell you right now, the back shoulder fades down the boundary to Trey Harris. Him and Jackson Dart are just in sync.
Back shoulder. Did you say something about a back shoulder, Lewis? There's another one to the tight end, Caden Prescorn. Already has a couple of touchdown catches this afternoon.
It was in essence the same kind of route, the same kind of wheel route to Prescorn that he scored on.
And back to the action. They're going to keep it on the ground this time. And Judkins will lose half a yard on the play. Jackson Dart is 18 of 28. Has a couple of touchdown tosses and almost 300 yards of total passing so far against the #1 total defense in the country, albeit missing some key components.
Which is a major part of all this when your top 2 corners aren't in the game. But look, the efficiency and the accuracy he's throwing the football with, it doesn't matter who's out there. He's showing you I'm a top flight passer.
Dart is going to be wrapped up and corralled at the 37-yard line by Fisher. Uriah Fisher.
And there's that pressure again. They just come at you in waves, in absolute waves. You have Amin Vanover, who goes 6'4", 268 pounds. I mean, they just have a bunch of guys. They obviously recruit and sign prototypes. They want depth along the defensive line. They got speed at linebacker.
And you saw the stat. Penn State is a very good third-quarter team. Dart, incomplete, no flag on the play. Intended for Caden Lee. So that time the secondary holding up with the requisite coverage, and they're in field goal range. Caden Davis will come in. It's going to be a long one, about 53 yards. Davis is 1 for 3 from 50+ this year. Knocked a couple through today. Plenty of room from 52 and a bit. Caden Davis giving the Rebels a 6-point advantage. Just underway here in the third quarter.
Kevin and Roddy in studio. The Chick-Fil-A move on the field. Trans-perfect Music City Bowl. This is Billy Edwards in the start for Talia Tungavailoa.
I love the call. A play-action slip screen. You know, that's a great call. Where are all the Auburn defenders? Great job getting your first-time starter into this game with an easy pitch and catch for a 61-yard gain.
All the way inside the 5, and then the Billy Edwards show continues on the short touchdown run. Mark and Lewis 7-0 on ABC.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl as we take our spoken word into the Lion's Den in just a moment. First, though, the kick with the Rebels leading by 6. Let's reflect back with our spoken word. Wally provided the color, a triplet who was all of a third. First starter, first varsity letterman, first Penn Stater drafted by the NFL. You heard? State College, home of the Nittany Lions, paternal den. Get some ham, a shake, and get after it then. John had 2 P's, 2 L's, 2 E's, and 2 T's. A name and a story that still brings folks to their knees. More than a contributor on an undefeated team, Bobby won the first Bolitnikoff Award, and that was no daydream. This next one is and was a specimen, I must advise. Not Charles, but Saquon and his prodigious thighs. They could use a little Ingram and Saquon in their world right now.
They have had some absolute ballers.
Yes.
Put on the blue and white for this football team.
Jack Ham
had some absolute battles against this team, obviously, given where I went to school. And nothing but respect for the way they play the game. It is hard, it is tough, and you better be ready to play for 60 minutes.
A true and pure blue blood of college football. Never question the lineage at Penn State. And here's Nicholas Singleton. Keeps those legs churning.
That's a good, tough run. That's a good, tough run. Look, these are going to be the guys that are going to give them a chance to win. This offensive line, this dynamic duo of Singleton and Allen running back and getting these tight ends involved and hopefully popping a big one. I'm surprised that the wide receivers, really right now, none of them have a catch. Not a single one. Cam Miller's been targeted twice, and then after that, Harrison Wallace III been targeted once. But Keandre Lambert-Smith and Dante Cephas have been MIA.
Saunders in motion. They set up the screen, middle screen to the tight end, and a lunge by Tyler Warren. Will it be enough? And if it's not, you got to think that they're going to go for it. Or at least the analytics would show that 3-yard gain. They mark it well short. And they're going to punt from the 34.
I think the
analytics say go for it.
I think they're going to play to the strengths of this football team right now. You can just tell they're just not trusting the consistency of the offense, and I understand why. And you got to play to what's gotten you here. See if the defense can hold them down here, get a shorter field to work with.
Fair catch at the 17-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 as Jordan Watkins makes the catch on the 51-yard punt. Jackson Dart on the sticks when we come back.
The Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl is brought to you by Allstate. You're in good hands. AT&T. Connecting changes everything. And Mercedes-Benz. The holiday love celebration is here. Now through January 2nd.
A lot of horsepower under that hood. Take a look at Lewis's ride to the airport.
That's what I would have had in the NIL days. I would have been like, give me one of them.
Too soon, baby. Too soon, huh?
Hey, if this was 1987, yo, NIL would have been. Ooh, boy.
Be pulling up in that Maybach.
Yes, indeed.
In the coach's parking spot.
There wasn't a whole lot of parking around the University of Pittsburgh. I might have just pulled that thing up on the sidewalk and put the four-ways on.
8:39 to go in the third quarter. Rebels up by 6. Jewel Carter still in the football game. Missed that tackle, which allows Judkins to pick up additional yards. Missed that tackle. You got to believe that a healthy Carter makes that tackle.
There's no question. He just couldn't explode off of the block of Caleb Warren. He got rid of the block, but he couldn't push off of it and explode and bring his feet. And against Judkins, he's already a yak machine, a yardage after contact machine. You ain't going to bring him down with an arm. Look at that.
Wow, what a move. He put him on his knees like it was pregame chapel.
Look, when we talked to the coaching staff, I said, is Quinshawn lighter? Is he quicker this year? And you can just see it right there. The feet in the hole, the jump cut ability. When you combine that with his power, it makes him absolutely lethal.
10-yard gain on the play. A little pressure coming this time, and pass complete to the outside. That's Hudson Wolf making the reception.
I hope you guys can hear that at home, because right there, Kobe King and Quinshawn, you can hear the pads just cracking.
7:30.
Don't tell me this game doesn't mean anything. That was a big-time collision. And Judkins stoned him, stood him straight up. That's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Second down. Dart hands it off again to Judkins. And he stopped up after a short gain, little or no gain. On Elise making the tackle that time for the Nittany Lions.
These Penn State D linemen are so fundamentally sound. You very rarely see them get their shoulders turned at the point of attack. They just build a wall, first and second level. These linebackers just hightail to the football, deliver big hits. When they're at full strength, when Kalen King and Johnny Dixon were playing, these guys could lock it down on the corners. There's a reason why you wind up giving up 230 yards a game. Because they've got ballers at all three levels, man. They really do. But they're up against it against this Ole Miss offense today.
3rd and 5, trips to the top of your screen. Trey Harris, the receiver, on the outside.
Timeout was called prior to the delay of game. First charge timeout, Ole Miss.
Lane Kiffin gets the timeout. We're going to pay some bills and come right back on the other side. Why are we going to lie like that, man? Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, celebrating the challenge of road games everywhere. Are you ready for the road? Goodyear, more driven. Well, this game will speak for itself. Literally, listen to this.
That's what it's all about. That kind of pad crack, and that was the play between Kobe King and Quinshawn Judkins. These guys are competing.
Toss to the boundary and a nice run by Judkins. Carter was in pursuit but couldn't quite get there. Again, 13-yard gain.
This is another example of how he just cannot range to the perimeter like he's accustomed to.
On the quick slant, complete. That's the inside receiver, Caden Lee, who got the start today. Another first down for the Rebels. Coach James Franklin expressed to us, as did Tom Allen, the defensive coordinator, that they were concerned about the tempo, that they hadn't seen a team that played this fast this year. And look how many yards they have given up. 435. That's the most this season, and the meter is still running. On the run, this is Judkins. Bursts through the line for another first down. Stopped by Winston Jr. on a 12-yard dash.
You can just see there again. I mean, I know I don't want to belabor the point, but Abdul Carter at the point of attack. Typically, he would take on Jaden Williams, who was pulling up in the hole right there, number 71, and he just sidestepped it because he has no power. He has no base to take it on. So right now, he's not even half of his normal self.
Run it again. Judkins this time stopped for a gain of about a yard on the play. That was Kobe King. Who makes the decision, Lewis? Is it the coach or the player? Who does the impetus lie on?
I think it's a little bit of a combination of both. I think, the player, look, he's an alpha competitor. He's not going to take himself out. I think in this instance, the coaches up in the box have to realize that right now, look, if this is a situation where, he could wind up, injuring himself further, obviously it's a no-brainer, but we don't want to speculate as to what exactly
he's coming out here.
Now he's coming off the field.
At some point, discretion is the better part. Move. Yeah, discretion becomes the better part of valor. With 4.5 minutes to go, 2nd and 9. This defense, which for most of the year has been impregnable, not so much today. 2nd and 9. Jam Griffin in the backfield. Dart into the end zone. Incomplete. Great effort by Dayton Wade, but good coverage by Cam Miller, who's making his first start tonight.
And Jackson Dart put that right where you need to put it. He put it right where you need to. Dayton's just got to elevate and make this play. That's got to be a touchdown.
What a throw.
Absolutely, a fantastic throw. And really, it's good coverage by Cam Miller. You just got to play the eyes in the hands, squeeze him to the boundary.
Judkins in the backfield on 3rd and 9. Harris into the boundary. They come over the middle. Touchdown, Rebels. A 14-yard touchdown reception by Judkins. Increases the margin to 29-12. And head coach Kiffin indicating that they're going to go for 2 here.
That's just a coverage bust. Looked like they had some kind of zero pressure going, and they didn't account for Judkins sneaking out of the backfield. That's just assignment football. Somebody busted a coverage there. You just can't have that against an offense that right now is rolling to the tune of 462 total yards.
Unbelievable against the #1 total defense in the country. J.J. Pegues comes in for this 2-point conversion. They go with their jumbo package. There he is, number 89.
And JJ's a former tight end that has switched to the defensive tackle position. Saw him in the Egg Bowl a year ago, catch a touchdown out of the backfield.
Dart looking back the opposite way. Room service. Prescorn again, easily. And the margin is up to 14.
These off-schedule plays down here in the red area, when the quarterback goes on a half roll like this, you just got to find somebody to look up and plaster is what they call it, and basically turn it into man coverage if it was zone. Penn State doesn't do that. You see Lane Kiffin. He's about to give you the fist slam again. There it is. It's out on the perimeter.
Well, the margin up to 14 now for the Rebels over the Nittany Lions with 4:10 to go here in the 3rd quarter in the Chick-Fil-A Peach Bowl. Mark Jones, Lewis Riddick, Quick Kesenick down in the field. Penn State going to take the touchback. Let's take one more look at that last sequence.
But you're going to see Caden Prescorn right here, and it looks like they're playing some kind of man coverage. Safety in the middle of the field. And here comes the motion across. Looks like they're just going to bump it down. The safety's going to take it. Now they rotate it back over. Now they come back. But then they turn Prescorn loose. And you see here, on the freeze right here, everyone's just staring at the quarterback. No one picks up Prescorn just leaking across the formation. He could have dumped it to him. He could have dumped it to Pegues, who was leaking out the backside. That's just bad assignment football right there. Not good communication. And the result is now you're giving up 31 points.
They hand it off to Katron Allen, who's going to be stopped up right near the line of scrimmage. T.J. Dudley making the tackle for the Rippers. Penn State has amassed 293 yards of total offense. And today is the biggest aberration that they've had defensively in terms of the yards that they've given up.
And look, folks, we know that they're not operating at full capacity as far as some of the players that they're missing. But still, the play calling, the execution on the part of Ole Miss, some of the assignment errors on the part of Penn State, it all factors into this as well.
A pass incomplete. A lot of traffic around Khalil Dinkins. It'll be 3rd down and 9. Let's go down to Quint.
The vibe on the far sideline, Penn State sideline, is one of a malaise. Guys staring up at the big screen. You think about this team knowing, here we go again, in terms of they don't have an offense that can generate chunk plays and get themselves out of this type of deficit.
That's a great point, Quint. And James Franklin talked about that. He said, despite the fact that we have 2 dynamic backs and we love what they can do, the number one thing in team building in all levels of football on offense has to be having a guy who can change the game with one single play on the perimeter, and they don't feel like they have that.
This feels like the Michigan game for Penn State. That pass incomplete at the 38-yard line, intended for Caden Saunders. And they'll have to punt. With 3:17 to go in the 3rd quarter. An arrhythmic offense continues to sputter for the Nittany Lions.
Just can't push the ball down the field outside the numbers. It's just not there. I don't even think they've called it. They called one big shot play. They tried to get the ball to Amari Evans, and that was the play that Drew Aller, he was just unsure whether or not he should let it go or not because he was covered. He took a chance and got it picked.
Thompson with the punt. Drives it all the way back to the 20. That's Jordan Watkins, and pushed out of bounds after a short return. 35-yard punt. Hey, coming up next, we'll have number 6 Georgia and number 5 Florida State in the Capital One Orange Bowl, hoping to end the season on a sweet note. You and I had Florida State a couple times this year, and love what Mike Norvell has done there to get that program headed in the right direction. What do you expect from them? What can you expect from them?
I mean, it's with the number of guys who have opted out. Obviously, Jordan Travis has kind of set this whole thing in motion with his injury. Not by his doing, obviously. I'm just saying the loss of him set this whole thing in motion. And it's just, I mean, I don't know what to expect when you turn on the TV and watch them against a Georgia football team that probably comes into this game pretty ticked off as well.
Between the tackles, Judkins picks up about 5. Tony Rojas making the tackle on the play. Under 3 minutes to go in the 3rd. Abdul Carter limping on the sideline, the most dynamic player defensively for Penn State to start the day, suffering that lower leg injury in the first half. But they're still bringing some smoke and some heat. Big hit by Hakeem Beamon.
Again, these defensive linemen, they come off the ball. They are coached hard. They are coached to compete. And I'll tell you, between Beamon, Vanover, 15, Denai Dennis Sutton, Adisa Isaac, these guys have played their hearts out today. And they will continue to until the last tick of the clock. You can guarantee that.
3rd and 7. A little 3-by-1 underneath. And caught by Prescorn again. You know, Prescorn playing with a rather heavy heart. Several months ago, losing his father to a long and protracted battle with that insidious disease we know as cancer. He has really been a bright light inside the walls of that football complex down in Oxford, Mississippi for this team. Talented young man and an unwavering spirit.
He's a guy who could have come out in the draft this year. He's going to return in 24, just like some of the other players that they have on offense, like Trey Harris. They want to make a run at it. This team is kind of galvanized, and they have kind of made the decision. They're going to make a run at this thing in 24.
Fumbled snap, and there's the jumbo package with Pegues. And he's going to move the pile and keep moving the pile. And keep moving the pile. Let him know, big fella.
It just shows you the athleticism of the big man, the former tight end. That ball hit him right in the knees, hits the ground, he picks it up, and he's still able to get, look at him.
Oh, man.
You see right there.
He put that whole defense in the weight room.
He said, Dominic DeLuca, you're 218 pounds. I'm about 290. I'm going to win this. Let's just go ahead and line it up first down.
Play clock at 10. Down the sideline and incomplete. Good coverage that time by Cam Miller against Trey Harris. It's been a fun matchup to watch, and I'll tell you what, despite the success of Harris, Cam Miller has battled today.
Hey, he's battled, Louis. He's got real good technique, real good. Stays square at the line of scrimmage. Doesn't try to look back when he's not in control of the wide receiver, which you can't do. And I know people talk all the time about DBs need to look for the ball. No, they don't. When they're not in phase, you can't look. And that was a perfect example. He played it perfect.
On 2nd and 10, they're going to keep it on the ground with Quinshon Judkins. Picks up about 2 yards. That might do it for the third quarter. Ole Miss, with a win today, would register their 11th of the season for the first time in program history. And we have a Nittany Lion, Tony Rojas, a little slow to get up on the field, being attended to by the athletic training staff. It was interesting to listen to James Franklin tell us about the type of player that he still likes to build his program around. There's still a high school recruiting type of program, and did talk about augmenting it judiciously through the transfer portal. And on the other side of the ledger, conversely, in stark contrast to that, Ole Miss has the #1, numero uno, the #1 transfer portal additions.
The guys on that screen are ballers.
We saw Walter Nolan earlier this year.
Scary.
Yeah.
Look, one of the things that Lane said, I said, what's the next level? What's the next iteration of this team? Or rather, what does this team need to look like in order to take the next step to really be contenders? And you know what he said? He said, hey, you need to look like Georgia. He said, because when I was out on the field in pregame looking at them warming up before we played them, he said it kind of crystallized the fact that
that's a blueprint.
We need to get bigger on defense. We need to get more physical. And they went out and got some absolute monsters on the defensive line. They are going to be a problem. They are going to be a problem in 24.
Welcome to the new era of college football in the portal. Basically free agency. The Grove Collective.
Yes.
Back shoulder incomplete. The Grove Collective making things happen down in Oxford, and a guy like Walter Nolan, Key Lawrence, who we saw from Oklahoma, 9 different defensive guys picked up in the portal alone, Mark.
Hey, man.
Offside, defense number 33, 5-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
The Grove Collective reminds me of a wonderful phrase that my barber Ives Hicks says always. Says, Mark, you can't be balling on a budget. And the Grove Collective is doing what their objective was created to do.
Look, he's very realistic about the landscape of college football as it's presently constructed. And he knows that the transfer portal is going to be an important part of the team building at Ole Miss. And the fact that they're winning now, it's going to help the freshman recruiting as well. So everything is moving in the right direction for them.
3rd and 3, blitz coming. They run right into it. Judkins had nowhere to go. Curtis Jacobs making the stop, and that'll do it. For the first 3 quarters of this football game, a little bit of
that is the end of the 3rd quarter.
jaw jacking going on down on the field. Lane Kiffin with some jubilation etched across his countenance, but still 15 minutes to play. He's not holding back. Welcome back, everyone, to Atlanta. You're watching the Chick-Fil-A Peach Bowl. 15 minutes to play. And some impressive numbers today, especially on the offensive side of the football for Ole Miss. They came after the punt a little bit. And a fair catch called back at the 11-yard line by Daquan Harvey. They'll be 1st and 10 after that 40-yard punt. Alluding to the numbers a moment ago, Jackson Dart has eviscerated that secondary of Penn State. 3 touchdowns, 325 yards. Judkins doing it on the ground and pre-scoring. Boy, he's had a wonderful day. A couple of touchdowns, over 130 yards, and Trey Harris doing it on the outside. A complete picture on that side of the football. Penn State's offense still trying to find its footing, and that's a good start to the 4th quarter by Nicholas Singleton, who picks up the 1st down. Harris making the tackle on the play. Still a lot of football to play here, folks. Just 2 scores. Aller with the completion over the middle to Warren, the tight end. He threw that with a lot of authority.
Yeah, look, he obviously really trusts Tyler Warren. He trusts Theo Johnson. But at some point, they got to get a play over the top on the outside. They've got to get Omari Evans involved in the passing game. They got to get some wide receiver involved.
They sat on that run. Singleton with nowhere to go. Ukwu making the tackle for the Rebels.
And really, that's on Jawan Sider and Ty Howell, the offensive coordinators as well. They got to call it. They got to dial it up and see if they can get one of these guys loose on the 3rd level.
It's going to be a penalty against the Lions.
Ball start. Offense, number 66. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
We talk about Penn State receivers. Somewhere my South Florida neighbor, O.J. McDuffie, is a little frustrated right now. One of the all-time greats to play at Penn State. Had some good ones on the outside. 2nd and 15. Aller gets rid of it quickly, complete to the edge. Clifford making the nice catch.
That is the first catch. That's the first catch by a wide receiver in this football game.
Wow.
The first catch by a wide receiver, 13-28 in the 4th quarter.
That's pretty significant.
It's very significant.
That tells a story.
It's very significant. And that's just being honest and real about where this offense is. And we'll talk about the fact that Andy Koltanecki will take over this offense for 2024, the former offensive coordinator at Kansas.
And we saw what kind of results, great results he had this year.
Absolutely.
On 3rd and 10. Aller lost his footing, but still delivered a strike to midfield. He came right back to Liam Clifford, and they moved the chains again on the 13-yard gain.
That's a nice conversion on the part of Aller. As you said, he was slipping and still was able to get enough heat on that football.
Taking a shot downfield into traffic, and we're going to have a flag. It was intended for Omari Evans, but this might actually go against Evans.
Yeah, I think you're going to see Evans wound up grabbing the corner. Zamari Walton. You see it right
Pass
here.
Interference. Offense number 5. 15-yard penalty. Replay, 1st down.
Yeah, he prevented a pick right there. Potentially.
You can't really see, like right there on the back. You see him.
Oh, yeah.
You see him interfering with him, pushing him in the back, maybe grabbing the jersey a little.
Yeah, Walton certainly got shoved. So the ball moves all the way back to the 35. 1st and 25 as a result. Saunders in motion. The middle screen again. One of their favorite go-to plays. And Warren still on his feet. Interminable energy and effort by Tyler Warren within a few yards of the 1st down.
Love his competitive toughness. That 44, it reminds me of Dallas Clark, the former Indianapolis Colts tight end, who wore the same number. he just won't stop competing.
On 2nd and 3, first down and then some. Singleton hit out of bounds inside the 30 at about the 27. So a couple of nice plays offensively by Penn State. Singleton will come out. Allen will come back in.
See, they're back to what they know, right? And I think you got a player down the field here for, I think it looks like that might be J.J. Pegues, if I'm not mistaken, from this angle.
And we saw him with a nice first down run on the offensive side of the ball a few moments ago. Hey, New Year's Day is the first of 3 bowl games on ESPN and ESPN+. The Verbo Fiesta Bowl, number 8 Oregon, they take on 13-0 number 23 Liberty at 1 Eastern. Wisconsin squaring off against number 13 LSU. And a great menu of games coming up. We have a player down, and we'll be back right after this. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Road tested and game ready. Are you ready for the road? Goodyear, more driven on an incandescent Saturday afternoon here in the A, Atlanta, Georgia. And Pegula in at quarterback. That's a backward pass out of bounds, intended for Aller. And boy, even when they try a little trickery this time now, it didn't work.
And you can see they were going to try and hit Khalil Dinkins, the tight end, down the seam. It would be a double pass. And they just couldn't get the execution down.
And that's not a play that you can just fire up and re-rack again.
No,
either, right?
No. I mean, those are one-offs, man.
Yeah.
And when you start resorting to those, and you're running this many of them, it's because you know that structurally you're just not built to be able to execute in the passing game in a traditional manner.
Loss of 12, 2nd and 22. You can hear the crowd. This building is packed. Both schools traveled well to get to Atlanta. The pass complete underneath, and a good open field tackle on Harrison Wallace by Dijon Anthony.
Those are the kind of routes that you would like to see more of, because Harrison Wallace, Amari Evans, these guys can run. And they could do some things maybe with the ball after the catch. You just got to get it in their hands.
3rd and 17. Aller incomplete at the 16-yard line. Intended for Lambert Smith. Broken up by John Saunders and DeAndre Prince.
That's just a nice instinctive reaction on the part of Saunders to really break on this in-breaker to Lambert Smith. That's the first time I believe Lambert Smith was targeted today.
Yep. Falcons in to attempt this field goal from 52 yards out. Let's call it 51. It's blocked. Snuffed. The Rebels doing it on special teams, blocking that field goal.
Big Xavier Harris, number 51. You're going to see him 6'7", right in the middle of your screen. You see number 51 right there. Nice job, big man.
The Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl is brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Earlier tonight, U.S. Army Captain Shalisa Perry, who is currently serving overseas, reunited with her parents, Chick-fil-A operator James Perry and his wife Sheila. Thank you to our military service members and veterans for your service.
What a poignant moment. Lisa Perry and her family reuniting. Thank you, Ms. Perry, for your service to our country, and what a great reuniting down there in the field. I'll watch it happen from the beginning. It was a wonderful perspective check for everybody. First down and 10. Rebels with the football at their own 35. A very impressive game by this team, coming in at 10-2. Only 2 losses this year against Alabama and at Georgia. Quinshon Judkins is going to pick up about 1.5 yards, brought down by Nittany Sutton. Second down and about 8. Penn State getting lined up. That pass incomplete, intended for Trey Harris. It'll be 3rd down and long coming up.
You can just see the difference in these young men's faces.
Back to the field and a first down catch by Caden Lee. And that's going to put a little bit more on the disappointment on the faces of those Nittany line players. A 12-yard gain.
Substitution. 12 players on the field by the defense. The penalty is declined. Result of play is a first down.
So the ability for Ole Miss to play early in this game at hyperspeed, then to now really slow it down, and suddenly put their foot on the gas. Penn State didn't get off the field on an illegal substitution. Playing with multiple tempos has been one of the real keys to this Lane Kiffin offense.
And subsequently really wearing down that Penn State crew a little bit. It'll test your stamina, as will Judkins. Will run into the boundary. Zane Durant making the tackle on the play for Penn State.
So when you watch it though, look, these kids on Penn State's defense, they are still hitting and running and giving all they got. Look, this game is what it is, okay? Defensively, they have been challenged. They've been undermanned, but their competitive character, look, I know that's something that's not necessarily being reflected on the scoreboard right now. But again, this game is not just about this game. This game is about continuing to play to your standard and getting ready for 2024 as well. And right now, Ole Miss is just a better football team on the field right now.
It's become very clear. 2-score game blitz coming by the Nittany Lions. Darting into space and picks up the first down, getting down safely. First down, Mississippi. Rojas and Hardy making the tackle, but not after Jackson Dart picked up 8.
I mean, that's the kind of toughness that this young man has shown all season long. And it just inspires me. He took a big shot right there. He's been taking big shots this whole game. And he just bounces back up, goes in the tent, gets his ankle taped, gets back out there, and he stands in there. You don't see him flinching, ducking. He's not looking down at the rush, nothing. His demeanor hasn't changed this entire game.
Had a chance to speak with him earlier in the week and telling us that LSU game was a big tipping point for him and the team. Nowhere to go for Judkins this time. He said that them being able to put 55 points on the board was a real masterstroke and imbued them with confidence. .10 to go. Dart back to pass. Surveys. And incomplete for Prescott. Quint has more on Dart.
He has been playing with the force today. As you look at that singular eye black. We're in a dome, by the way. Eye black, you don't need it, but there he is on the left. Anakin Skywalker, a big fan of the Star Wars series, is Jackson Dart.
I was wondering about that, the eye black here. I understand you got to, everyone's got their idiosyncrasies, but
well, as someone who's a Star Wars dude himself, I like it.
Pass complete. And there's Harris, dangerous, lethal in the open field, still on his feet. All the way down to the 12, pointing in the right direction for the Rebels. He was working against Cam Miller again.
I mean, Trey Harris is just a stud. He's just a stud. Catch the ball, turn into a running back quickly. Get the ball north and south.
Hit him with the hezzy.
He's just put on a clinic as far as how to run the back shoulders, show no fear coming inside in traffic on the slants, tracking the ball in the air with just instinctive, hand-eye coordination that you can't teach. He's got it all. And again, these are the guys who are coming back for that big run next year that are all committed to see if they can go ahead and be playing in the college football playoffs and make a run at the national title next year.
1st and goal. Judkins in the backfield. Dart complete. Of course, it's Prieskorn, and that time stopped up a little bit shy of the end zone.
Does he know how to catch the ball with 2 hands, or he's just always one hand?
He's just showing off now.
Yeah, that's when you know you're kind of like feeling it. Like everything is just easy for you right now.
Skills.
If you played sports long enough, you sometimes get in those zones where it's just like, hey, look, man, I can't fail right now. I'm feeling it. And he has been feeling it all day. Look at his stat line so far today. 10 catches, 136 yards, 2 touchdowns.
And Pegues is in the backfield, and you know what that means, folks. It's jumbo package time.
They're going to try and throw the ball to him. That's my guess. They try and get him a touchdown. He's a former tight end.
It's going to be a quarterback keep. Maybe touchdown. It was a good thought, but the result was the desired one anyway. Jackson Dart.
Let Jackson Dart get in on the party.
Yeah, they put a little extra ordnance and beef on that side of the field just to help out. Oh, and they're bumping their gums at each other a little bit down there.
You got the quarterback leading the charge now.
Yeah. Talk your stuff, Jackson Dart. You deserve to.
It's like he scored. It's like the first touchdown. I tell you what, this organization, this football operation in Ole Miss really does believe in what Lane is selling and what he's trying to build. They are all in.
That was the 8th rushing touchdown of the season for Jackson Dart. 11th of his career. But it wasn't quite a perfect ending for Jackson Dart. Here's how it went down on the sidelines. Trying to complete it. Oh, he smoked the dunk. Come on, man. You can't smoke the dunk after a great touchdown run. Rebels in control when we come back. You're watching the Chick-Fil-A Peach Bowl. And do you think Juice, Lane Kiffin's dog, is enjoying this game? Juice is just on another level of chill right now. You can get the feeling that Juice expected this result. 38-17 so far. Usually, this is a rare road game for Juice. Making his appearances down in Oxford.
A lot to feel good about. A lot of momentum behind this program right now, Mark. A lot of momentum.
Tell you what, it's never easy navigating your way through the SEC West, but they're going to have some extra ordnance next year. Time now for the AT&T countdown to the College Football Playoff National Championship. Most wins in FBS history: Michigan, Alabama, Ohio State, and Texas. Oh, what about that Ohio State low-scoring effort last night? A little bit of a surprise.
Yeah,
Missouri with a nice win, though.
Yeah, when you don't have competent quarterback play and can't produce down the field. Again, these chunk plays, we're seeing it play itself out here with Penn State. The inability to push the ball down the field.
Great point, Lewis.
Complete passes out of. It's just. It doesn't matter what level of football you're talking about. Right. It doesn't matter. The wide receiver position, the ability to play the game outside the numbers and be able to just strike with one play and not have to drive the distance of the field is one of the most sought-after commodities in football. James Franklin told us that yesterday. You see every team trying to construct themselves in that way too. Besides the typical, we need pass rush with offensive line. If you don't have wideouts that can strike fear, you're going to be limited.
There's a catch by one of those said wideouts, Liam Clifford, making the reception that time. Clifford making his third catch. He's been targeted 3 times. Approaching 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. The Rebels in control. Nice pass and catch. That was Harrison Wallace at the other end of that frozen rope, thrown by Drew Aller.
That's a great catch. What they call it on the post route, coming over the middle, had to extend, make what is it looks like a routine catch, but that's a pretty difficult reception.
Got a player down on the field for the Rebels.
Is that Pegues again?
I think it is Pegues. .541 to go. We're going to take a short break and get some information on that injury on the other side of this. And welcome back, everyone. The College Football Playoff Foundation and ESPN celebrating 10 years of teaming up to support teachers with a new postseason initiative, Touchdown for Teachers, where $1,000 is donated to local schools for every touchdown scored during a bowl game. Visit touchdownforteachers.org for more information. Aller back to pass on 1st and 10. Had it knocked loose. Not sure his arm was coming forward. It's going to be a fumble recovered by Jared Ivey, and it's 1st and 10 the other way for the Rebels.
Yep. Field is a fumble and a recovery by the defense. First down, Ole Miss.
Stone made the hit.
And there's an example of Drew Aller. He's just got to let this ball go. He has the tight end, Tyler Warren, coming open, and you see him right there. He's just got to layer this throw over the head of Jean-Baptiste, the linebacker, but he just doesn't trust it. And he sits there and he thinks about it, and he double clutches and he thinks about it, and by that time you're just giving the rush time to get there. And man,
well, we saw the result there, partner. It was not good.
Bad to worst.
Call confirmed that it's a fumble. Second turnover of the day for the Nittany Lions. And speaking of our teachers initiative,
speaking about Jackson Dart again, just think of all the quarterbacks that were brought in to Ole Miss this offseason. And Jackson responded to the challenge from all of them. They had Spencer Sanders, who had come in as a transfer. They had Walker Howard, a freshman who was the #1 dual threat quarterback coming in.
And he's looking like a dual threat quarterback with a nice run right there.
He fought them all off.
Yeah. Jackson Dart with the run. Impressive numbers on the day. 379 yards, 3 touchdowns.
And so here's another guy probably going to return to Oxford next year.
First charge timeout, Penn State.
I just love stories about guys like that who accept the challenge, and the best of them comes out when they're pushed, and nothing's guaranteed to them, and they rise to the occasion. You love those kind of stories.
Former Gatorade National Player of the Year at a high school. Passed for almost 5,000 yards out of Kaysville, Utah. And keep in mind, if Coach Kiffin's squad vanquishes Penn State, they would win their 11th game of the season, which would be a school record, a new high in 129 years of football in Oxford, Mississippi. Mercedes-Benz Dome starting to thin out a little bit, understandably so. 2nd down and 5 coming up. And a direct snap to Judkins on the Wildcat. Got back to the line of scrimmage. There'll be 3rd and long coming up. And we got a timeout called by Penn State. So they have 2 of their 3, pardon me, 1 now remaining. Two losses this year for Penn State came against Ohio State and Michigan. Of course, we've already been told many times over that the Big Ten will look a lot different. A seismic shift next year in the Big Ten and its members. Washington out of the Great Northwest, Oregon out of the Great Northwest, and out of beautiful Southern California, UCLA and USC.
That's a lot of firepower coming in, man. A lot of firepower. Just
a lot of tradition.
Exactly. Things just get tougher. They get just tougher. It's an absolute, just a race.
Penn State will be at home against UCLA and Washington, and then travel to Troy to take on USC.
And who'd you see on your screen right there? The tackle, the future first rounder, Ola Fashanu, still supporting his guys here. Talking to the offensive lineman on the bench, trying to keep them encouraged, keep their spirits up.
And a nice tackle right there. Speaking of spirited play, Jamil Lyons making a nice surge across that offensive line to make the tackle. It'll be 4th and long coming up now for the Rebels. And Penn State is out of timeouts. Rebels have 2 of their 3 still remaining. And now for today's Capital One rewarding performance. So many worthy recipients. And we choose Caden Prieskorn.
That'll work. 10 receptions, 136 yards, 2 touchdowns. Nate Jackson Dart just right now 21 yards away from putting up 4 bills, 400 yards of passing, and 3 touchdowns. Only been sacked 1 time, but taken numerous hits.
Prieskorn, career high 136.
Legal substitution, offense breaking the huddle with 12 players. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Well, they said that Prieskorn was going to be targeted a lot more and be a bigger weapon moving forward. They told us the truth on that, Lewis.
Yeah, for sure. And he's someone, had he decided to come out in the draft, he's someone that a game like this, look, it's definitely going to have scouts' attention next year for the 25 draft. He's helped himself a ton with this performance.
Yeah, big time. That punt out of bounds on the 25-ish. 5:08 to go. You know, and we've seen what Aller can do today for Penn State at quarterback. I'm curious to see what the future holds for Prabula. And, you know, he came in, he's played sparingly throughout the regular season, and with new offensive coordinator Andy Kotelnicki coming in, taking the reins of it. Do they start from scratch next year, and is it a quote-unquote open job? Batted down, and Aller caught it off the carom. It's not the way that they drew it up. And if they did draw it up that way, they need a pay raise.
Yeah, I think spinning this forward for this offense going forward, I think everything is on the table as far as how do you improve the passing game.
Completes it to Singleton down the sidelines, holding that ball high and tight.
Looking at their recruiting class coming in, they have a fantastic young running back coming out of the state of Pennsylvania by the name of Quentin Martin, who is a dual threat, just athlete. They have a tight end that's coming in that's going to be very good as a freshman. But it's yet to be seen what happens at the wide receiver position.
Rebel player injured down on the field.
Is that Jared Ivey?
Yep.
James Franklin made some significant changes during the season with his offensive coordinator. Of course, we talked about that. And then defensively, Manny Diaz is now the head coach at Duke. He was the defensive coordinator for the season, the former University of Miami head coach. We're on Coach Franklin. Let's go downstairs to Q.
Yeah, I thought we had a fascinating discussion with James yesterday about how he felt a commissioner of college football is needed. Talked about how he has to recruit his own roster and how that roster management and player management has changed over the years. Talked a lot about the portal, about tampering and how rampant it is, and basically just said it is a challenging time in college football.
Landscape ever changing, yeah.
But hey, right now, they have a top 10 freshman recruiting class coming in, so he's still getting the job done.
Aller gonna run with it. Nice sprint across the 20, down at the 13-yard line. Drew Aller showing off his running game there. He picked up 25.
Yeah, you like to see that. And understand Drew Aller is a big boy now. He's 6'5", 240, 245. He just needs to continue to develop his confidence and believe.
Throws it into the end zone, touchdown to Wallace, Harrison Wallace, with a touchdown catch.
I'm going to tell you what, when you make assignment errors in the back end, this is just man-to-man coverage. In a zero blitz situation, no safety in the middle of the field. This is what happens. You're going to see the safety in the corner. They both go for the same guy. Don't pass off the switch release and turn a guy loose. Easiest way to score points. Penn State's defense has committed some errors like that. Now it's Ole Miss's turn.
Yeah, Harrison Wallace back from injury recently, and good to see him back on the field and making a nice contribution for the Nittany Lions. Evans in motion to the bottom of your screen. They go for two, back shoulder, incomplete, and a late flag. Pass intended for Tyler Warren, DeAndre Prince.
Yeah, Prince got into him early.
Pass interference, defense number 7. Half the distance to the goal. Replay the try.
You see him here. It's hard to run a fade into the boundary like this on the hash. Don't put the ball up there in the air and give him a chance.
So they're going to have another try from just outside the 1-yard line. Prabula in a quarterback. Number 9. Looking to pass, has a man wide open, and they get the 2-point conversion. Singleton with an easy catch. The margin with 4:14 to go is down to 2 scores, 13.
That's a nice job of using that yo-yo motion. Come in and then quickly change direction and come back out.
What does that do to the defense?
Well, Zamari Walton, if you take your eyes off of your coverage responsibility, and actually he's not there, he's right here, look. You see he thinks he's going across the formation, so instead of keeping his eyes on the receiver, he's looking to try and work his way through traffic. Well, when the receiver puts on the brakes, next time he looks back, he's like, where'd he go? It's really that simple.
Right.
Keep your eyes on your work. Otherwise, you lose him like that, and that's what happens.
Well, folks, don't forget, after the game, stay tuned for the Ram Trucks postgame here on ESPN. So you'd expect the requisite onside kick right now by Penn State. Down by 13 points with 4:14 to go. Zahadak puts it on the tee. Sander Zahadak. Transfer from Liberty. See what kind of bounce he can get. Took a good one, but right into the arms of who else? The guy that's had a great day. Priestcorn again. The ball just seems to find good energy sometimes.
Yeah, very favorable bounce, and Priestcorn said, hey.
He had the big touchdown, remember, in the fourth quarter against Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl. And there's the sure-handed tight end again.
That's about as easy of work on hands team as you're going to get.
First and 10 for the Rebels from the 48. Judkins in the backfield. The Nittany Lions are out of timeouts. Brought down after a gain of about 2 on the play. Looking like we might have had a potential horse collar there for a quick split second, but not so. Second down and 8 to go. Georgia against Florida State coming up in the Capital One Orange Bowl. Down at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami.
See Lane just letting this clock tick down now. I'm trying to get on out of here and put this game to bed.
And by the way, before we say goodbye, Lewis, it has been a spectacular, brilliant year working college football with you and with Quinn.
This crew is the very, very best. The very best.
Toss into the boundary to Judkins and to our producer, Kim Belton, and Anthony DeMarco, our director, always giving us great pictures and knowledge from inside our production truck downstairs. And Kim with those great spoken words that we've been doing all year long, tracing the great history of all the different college football programs and the wonderful contributions by the players. And our cameramen have done a spectacular job in capturing every detail. In our EVS department as well, replays.
Some of the most fun parts of the whole production, going to the camera meetings and talking to them about the games. They love it. Helps them do their job. It's been a great team effort all year long.
So
great team effort.
Yeah, they are so entrenched in college football as much as we are. Judkins brought down for a short loss on the play by Wiley. Keon Wiley making the tackle as we approach 2 minutes to go. Can I ask you who you're going to take for the national championship?
Oh.
You know me, I run stop signs, just fire questions.
Yeah, you can ask me. Look, you know me. You guys know my history with Nick Saban. You always believe in the Bama pedigree and how he coaches and his performance in big games. But love Michael Penix and how explosive that offense is. That offensive line, the defense, the attitude they play with. I was able to go down to Austin this summer and talk to Sark and his group before the season kicked off. And they're bullies too, playing with a ton of confidence. Michigan, they'll just bloody. I know I'm not answering the question.
Come on, man, I'm waiting on that.
I know I'm not answering.
You're teasing me, bro.
I'm going to go with Bama. I'm going to go with Bama, but all four of these teams are deserving. Okay. It's a toss-up for me. But how can you not like Jalen Milroe's story? How about him? How about his belief in himself?
Undeniable.
It's unbelievably inspiring.
Unyielding belief in his abilities, despite the opinions of one of his own coaches.
How about that?
At one point.
You could tell that hurt him, man.
Yeah.
That hurt him. And it also propelled him. And these are great matchups. I mean, those are heavyweight battles. I mean, just heavyweight right there. The best of the best. Cannot wait to see those games.
New Year's Day. Don't call or text me, folks. Friends or family, don't talk to me. I'm busy. That one goes into the end zone. It'll come out. 1st and 10. Got 1:28 to go, and one last drive here for Drew Aller. And a change in offensive coordinator midway late in the season, actually. Mike Jurczyk was relieved of his duties, and Coach Howell and Coach Sider taking over. Allen in the backfield on 1st down and 10. An authoritative throw and catch at the other end by Wallace.
See, that's just an example of when he throws the ball in rhythm. You saw he hit that back foot, took one hitch, and fired it. It's beautiful.
Yes.
He can do it. It's not about the capability. It's about the consistency. And just watch how rhythmic this is. Hit the back foot and boom. Layer it over the second level, put it right in stride. You can't do it better than that. It's about repeating that execution over and over. That's the difference between backups and starters and Hall of Famers, is can you repeat it over and over and over and over again in the biggest of moments? And that's just what he hasn't been able to master yet.
Well, it's interesting because, you know, when you and I were both studying and prepping for this game, watching I noticed when I was watching the Michigan State game, he looked really sharp in that one.
You see there down on the field.
Yeah, that's Harrison
Wallace.
Wallace.
You just hope he's okay, man. He finally worked his way back from injury, and he is a fantastic athlete in his own right.
6'1", 195 out of Montgomery, Alabama.
Don't want to see guys getting hurt in this game.
Redshirt sophomore, going to be able to walk off the field under his own power and strength.
See the tight end Theo Johnson there. You can tell this is a close football team. At least it looks that way from the outside looking in. These guys care about one another.
1:18 to go. It's first down and 10 after that catch. Aller never really got his feet set and throws it out of bounds way over the head of Tyler Warren. 2nd and 10 with 1:04 to go.
See there, he just wasn't comfortable with what he saw. I mean, really, there was nobody open. He had Tyler Warren uncovering late, but he wasn't able to see him quick enough. And you see, when it gets off schedule for him, and he's not able to throw it in rhythm, that's when things, it's just like, oh boy, hang on.
2nd down and 10. Aller pulls, low throw, incomplete. I want to ask you a question, Lewis. If you're Andy Kotelnicki, the former offensive coordinator at Kansas, who did great work and had very good results there, in watching Aller today, what do you think he's inventoried moving forward?
Look, I think it's a multi-layered story. Obviously, there wasn't enough confidence to really feature the wide receiver group here and kind of call things early to get them going. This was a run game centric, tight end centric attack. Talking to Coach Franklin, clearly, like he told us, like they want to upgrade the people around the quarterback, just like every place tries to do in college and the pros.
Aller pump fakes, tucks it under and runs with it. A nice burst down to the 35-yard line.
So I don't know, Mark, if they feel as though they can really see what he really has to offer, because I don't know if they feel as though they have enough weapons around him yet to really pull out the best of him. It'll be an interesting evaluation to follow this offseason.
Aller incomplete with 34 seconds to go.
Now, all of that being said, yeah, there are some moments when you turn on the tape and you really dig into it, and you sit there and go, sometimes some of Drew's worst enemy, or Drew's worst enemy, is himself.
Okay.
And he kind of admitted that yesterday. Sometimes he doesn't trust it and believe it and let it go. And then when things start to bog down and he starts to become hesitant, that's when bad things happen and bad decisions are made. So it's kind of a two-part thing, like it always is in football.
Got a clean pocket and incomplete at the 25-yard line. That was intended for Amari Evans. 3rd down and 10. So barring a bigger turnaround than Paul on the road to Damascus, Ole Miss will win their 11th game of the season and achieve a little bit of history in their 11th win and first time in school history doing that in all their over 100 years of football in Oxford. Mississippi is dominated from the middle of the second quarter on. Aller has the pass batted down. The Gwes. Boy, didn't we see him slow to get up a moment ago?
Yeah, a couple times. JJ's had a full afternoon now. He's pulling double duty, and he's another guy who really wants to work this offseason, work on his game. He's kind of new to the D-tackle position, like, as we talked about, a tight end convert. Wants to improve his stock next year, because make no mistake, These young men playing on these teams, they want to get to the NFL. That is pretty much priority number one when you're talking about big-time college football.
They said he was going to have to play well, and he has. That pass incomplete. Intended Malik Maga. And that'll do it. Rebels will take over on downs with 21 seconds to go. Dart finishing the day 25 of 40 passing for 379 yards and 3 touchdowns against statistically, if not in body, but statistically, the best defense in the country.
It's going to be a fun flight, bus ride, however they got here back to Oxford for these young men. Well deserved. Well deserved.
Little victory formation to wrap it all up and put a bow on this for the Rebels. That'll do it. Lane Kiffin and his team improved to 11-2. They are the champions of the 2023 Chick-Fil-A Peach Bowl. Georgia and Florida State in the Capital One Orange Bowl is coming up next. The Ram Trucks post game is starting on ESPN News. For Quint Kesnick, Louis Riddick, and our entire talented crew, I'm Mark Jones saying so long from the A and Happy New Year.